Okay, if we could have everyone please grab their seats, we'll go ahead and get our hearing started. Again, if we could have everyone please grab a seat. If we could have everyone please. If we could have everyone go ahead and grab a seat, that's perfect. We'll go ahead and get started with the testimonial portion of our evening. First, I'd like to find out if we have our court reporter on our WebEx. We do, thank you. And I would like to make sure for the audience to note that we have all 4 of our commissioners in attendance tonight. I'll get more into those details in just a minute. Let's go on the record. Today is July 21st, 2025, and the current time is just past 7:30. The question and answer portion of tonight's event, which you just participated in, is concluded. If you attended that, I do hope that you were able to get your questions answered. We will now be starting the comment portion of the hearing. This is when you all can give your testimony to the commissioners for them to take into consideration for their decision on this rate case. The Missouri Public Service Commission has set this time for a local public hearing to give members of the public a chance to comment about Liberty's request for a rate increase, and that is in case number ER-2024-0261. My name is Charles Hatcher, and I am the regulatory law judge that will be overseeing this hearing. The Commission regulates the rates charged by public utility companies in Missouri to ensure that those rates are just and reasonable. The Commission also regulates the quality of service and safety of the operations of public utilities. The Commission is made up of 5 commissioners. The Commission's chair, Kayla Hahn, and Commissioner John Mitchell are here with me tonight. And on our WebEx online, we have Commissioners Maida Coleman and Commissioner Glenn Kolkmeyer. There is one vacancy at the Commission at the moment. The Commissioners are appointed by the Governor and confirmed by the Senate. The Commission employs a staff of engineers, accountants, attorneys, financial analysts, and other specialists in the field of utility regulation. Chair Hahn, would you like to make any opening remarks?
Good afternoon, or I guess it is evening now. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you coming out this evening to share your thoughts with us. Right now, this rate case is in the beginning steps, and during these steps, we always go out to ask the public to get your thoughts and feedback about the particular case, and that's what we're here to do this evening. I know many of you may have different thoughts or interests, so just share those with us. While Commissioner Mitchell and I are here in person to hear those comments, we do have Commissioners Kolkmeyer and Coleman on the line, and we'll all be listening very intently to what your thoughts are. Again, thank you all so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. And I know this is kind of like an odd format. We're not used to sitting up, so sorry about that. I guess we had a venue change at the last minute. Just know that we've still got our notebooks. We're still taking notes and listening to everything you got to say. So with that, thank you all so much.
Thank you, Chair Hahn. I'd like to go ahead and ask the parties to enter their appearance for the record. First, for the company, Liberty, also known as the Empire Electric Company.
Diana Carter for the Empire District Electric Company, doing business as Liberty.
Thank you. And for Commission staff.
Eric Vandergriff, representing staff. Our address is 200 Madison Street, P.O. Box 360, Jefferson City, 65102.
Thank you. And the Office of the Public Counsel.
Nathan Williams, Chief Deputy Public Counsel, representing the Office of the Public Counsel and the public in general. My information is on several pleadings in front of the Commission.
Thank you. And we do have several intervening parties. I did notice one counsel here in the audience. If any of those parties or their counsel would like to be recognized, please go ahead and do so now.
Your Honor, can you hear me? Yeah, my name is John Kaufman. I'm here appearing for the Consumers Council of Missouri. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other intervening parties? All right. Now, thank you. This is a fairly well-attended hearing, as we can all see, which is great, as the commission does want to hear from the public. I also want to make sure that I give everyone the opportunity to speak. So I'm going to have to be limiting the comments tonight to 3 minutes each. Also, if someone has said the same thing that you would like to say, it is perfectly acceptable to say that I would like to reference the other person's remarks, and I have the same remarks as they do. There's no need to overly expound on something that's already been said, but the commission does want to know what everyone's experiences are. I'm going to ask that everyone please be polite and courteous and respect other people's opinions and give everyone else the same courtesy that I hope that they would give to you. Many of you did sign up in advance. I currently have about 5 different sign-up sheets, and I'm going to call those names first. If you did not sign up on one of these sign-up sheets, at the end of my calling these names, I'll ask if anyone else in the audience would like to have an opportunity to speak. When I do call your name, please go ahead and raise your hand or otherwise let me know that you're here. Come on down to one of the microphones. I will swear you in. I'll place you under oath. And then I'll ask you to state and spell your name for the court reporter, and then give your comments to the commission. After you finish giving your comments, I will ask you to stay for just a second at the microphone until I excuse you. I will be then looking to the commissioners or the attorneys to see if anyone else has questions for you after you've given your statement. Now, the commission will not be able to answer questions today. The commissioners need to remain impartial until after all of the evidence is presented at the evidentiary hearing. And that's why the commissioners and myself could not be in attendance at the earlier question and answer period. If you do have a question and you did not get your question answered at the question and answer period, I would encourage you to speak with representatives of the company, the commission staff, or the Office of the Public Counsel. With that in mind, let's go ahead and start calling names. I will do my best to pronounce all of the names correctly. I do apologize in advance, and I will continue apologizing as I mispronounce them. We will start off with Tammy Walker. Is there a Tammy Walker? Thank you. Please come on down to the microphone. Ms. Walker, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
Tammy Walker, TammyWalker.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Please go ahead.
I'm the Deputy Director at Economic Security Corporation. We're your local community action agency serving Jasper, Barton, Newton, and McDonald counties. Our agency has a good working relationship with Liberty. We collaborate with them to provide weatherization services to low-income families. Our agency provided weatherization services to 74 families totaling $390,309 with the funds received from Liberty last year. Typically, weatherization services include door replacements, HVAC system repairs and replacements, installation, LED lighting, pipe installation. This funding has been an invaluable resource as it has allowed us to serve more households. We are grateful for the partnership with the hope that it will continue in the future. Our agency receives federal LIHEAP funds. With these funds, we operate the Energy Assistance Program and Energy Intervention Program, which are the largest utility assistance provider programs in the Fort County service area. Energy assistance helps low-income customers who qualify for a one-time payment in the winter. Last year, our agency assisted 6,627 households. 48% of those households were either elderly and/or disabled. 83% had incomes under 75% of the poverty guidelines. To give you an example of how much money this is for a one-person household, it is less than $978 a month. 3,011 of those households were Liberty customers who received energy assistance, which totaled $951,000. We serve 6,671 households with our Energy Crisis Intervention Program. 70%, or 4,695 of those households were Liberty customers. $1,802,064 was paid out to Liberty to assist low-income customers for shut-off notices or to help them get their service reconnected. With rising costs, affording basic needs is a huge challenge for our customers who struggle each month to make ends meet. With that being said, here's one example of one of our customers. Mary is 96 years old. She rents a home that has not been weatherized. She receives no SNAP benefits to help with her food costs. Her income is $963 in SSI and Social Security income, and she reports having no resources. Any rate increases for the economically disadvantaged and our most vulnerable populations, which are our elderly and disabled households, is too much.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. If you'll hold on, are there any questions? Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you coming to give us your testimony today.
Thanks.
I sincerely appreciate the applause. I would respectfully ask that we hold our applause only because there's approximately 150 to 200 people here. So we want to make sure that everyone has the time to give their opinion to the commissioners. I appreciate that. Maurice Filson. Thank you, sir. Please come on down to the microphone. You take your time. You're doing fine. Thank you, Mr. Filson. If you would please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep.
Thank you, sir. And would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Maurice, Maurice, Filson, Filson.
Thank you, Mr. Filson. Please go ahead with your comments.
Well, I think I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, but we're still here. I am an old country kid, so whatever I might say, I don't mean it to be offensive. It's just country. I heard Liberty's sob story on the expenses, all of the things that they had to go through to justify, and I put that in quotes, justify, to charge us more. Well, now here's my sob story. I'm retired, Social Security, pension, just like most of these brothers and sisters out here. My sob story is I called the assessor the other day, found out that my house was average. I said, "What do you mean average?" She said, "It needs a lot of work done on it." I can't afford to do that work because there's not enough money to go around. If this increase goes in, including Walmart's prices, the gas prices, my expenditures have shrunk. And if it goes any higher, I don't know what I'll do. Eat asphalt, I guess. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Filson.
If I may,
Mr. Filson, we have a
Filson?
question for you.
Mr. Filson,
Yeah.
I believe you said your expenditures had shrunk. Did you mean they've increased and you don't have sufficient funds to cover them?
Do what now, sir?
If I heard you correctly, I believe you said your expenditures had shrunk.
That's right.
By that, do you mean that you don't have enough money to cover all of your bills?
It's getting that way, yes.
Thank you.
My money, I'm not getting raises. The government sees to that. But they vote themselves a raise, and all that does is cost us more money. I'm against Walmart, I go to them every day. I'm not against the gas, they get me to where I want to go. But all of these things that are piling up on us, I said that wrong. My money supply has shrunk, and that's what you caught me on.
Thank you.
My money supply has shrunk. My expenditures are increasing drastically, just like these people out here. I'm not complaining, it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Filson.
Thank you.
Let's go to Scott Stutt, please. I have the last name Stutt, S-T-U-T-T, maybe? Thank you, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Scott, S-C-O-T-T, Stutt, S-T-U-T-T, and I go along with everybody that's been ahead of me because all our funds, like most of these people out here, I'm on low income, and Liberty's wanting to raise our electric bills when they're already sky high, and we have to depend on what little we do have to either make our med bills or doctor bills or gas to go get around in, and I don't see where it's gonna come from.
Thank you, Mr. Stutt. Was there anything further you wanted to state?
No, sir.
Okay.
May I?
Yes,
I
Mr.
just
Williams.
wanna- I just want to make sure there isn't anything else you want to say, because from the commissioner's perspective, the only person they've heard from is you and Mr. Filson.
Well, that's who I'm going with.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stutt. Charlie McGrew. Thank you, sir. Come on down to the microphone. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you please state and spell your name for the record.
Charlie McGrew, C-H-A-R-L-I-E, M-C-G-R-E-W.
And please go ahead with your comments.
Okay. First off, you're going to hear a lot smarter people and more profound statements than I'm going to have. I've just got a couple of very simple points. I'm just a simple taxpayer and citizen, and don't understand. I'd like to make a couple of points. Based on the current economic environment that we're in, very low inflation, and actually the wholesale cost of most energy is actually down in the last 6 months. And a few other things. It's very difficult for me to understand how a 30 or even 20% increase is justified given the current economic conditions. Another point I'd like to just quickly make to the commission, Empire is a kind of an anomaly in that they're a utility, a for-profit utility, publicly traded, and yet they're subject to this commission's regulations. I would just like to submit that there's no way that a publicly traded for-profit company can guarantee a 10% profit. Other companies are not guaranteed that. They've got that factored in to their request. I would submit, and I would just ask the commission, don't reward them for bad decisions and pay for those bad decisions. And I would just cite a couple of examples of that from what the previous Empire employee said. Shutting down the coal plant, which necessitated replacing it at a significant cost, and the wind farms at $2 billion, or $1 billion, I think he said. Those are bad decisions that they made, and they should not be rewarded for them. If they don't make a good profit, so be it. Other publicly held companies have to deal with that. That's what I've got to say. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. McGrew. Thank you, sir. I
Okay.
appreciate you coming down.
Thank you.
Ron Peterson. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, and please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
Ron Peterson, Ronpetersen.
Please go ahead with your comments.
After Liberty's billing fiasco last year, I am very surprised that they are wanting a 30% increase. On top of that, my meter wasn't even read last month after I attended last month's meeting. So I don't know when it will stop with Liberty. They nickel and dime us with layer after layer of charges. My bill is complex. I have 9 line items on my bill, one of which is a demand charge min 40 and a facilities charge, both of which seem to cover infrastructure costs to meet my peak electricity usage. So of those nine line items, I do know one thing that I'm paying for, and that is Liberty's poor planning in 2021. They patted themselves on the back when they closed the Asbury plant early, yay for us. But due to the plant's inefficiencies is why they closed it. What does that mean? All I know is that my electric bills went up 80% since that closure. That may not have been disclosed to you when they presented that idea to you. But I will say this, all of us in this room would love to have those inefficiencies back in play. If that meant our bills would go down by half. If green energy is so great, then why have our bills nearly doubled? And nobody explains that to us. And do I really have to ask who thought it was a great idea to build wind farms in ice storm areas of the country? Completely, it works in Canada. They don't get ice storms up in Canada, where the parent company is. Do they think that wind turbines will turn when they're loaded with 6 tons of ice? I don't think so. Engineers used to plan for worst case scenarios. That's how engineers of days gone by would plan for worst case scenarios. They designed infrastructure for that. And apparently Liberty did not do that with their wind farm and solar arrays. Now, the crux of this and all the public frustration, I feel, is a cultural difference. It's stemming from a cultural difference. I'm not a sociologist, but I've traveled the world enough to know a few things about different countries and different cultures and different kinds of people. I've been to Canada, and I assure you that there's major differences between Canadian culture and American culture. Canadian ESG policy may work great in Canada. It may work great with Algonquin Power, the parent company of Liberty, or Empire as they're now saying today. But it doesn't work in the US. Algonquin is more concerned about carbon emissions, biodiversity, climate change, and woke DEI policies than they are for the people in this room. It is obvious, and it must end. And I hope that you can have the backbone to stop it. The hardships on the public and business owners are real, and they want to make it worse. Algonquin needs to understand that Canadian ESG and business policy just don't work in the heartland. I'm not sure how effective these town hall meetings are, except to make everyone feel good, while more and more price hikes are levied against us anyway. It's like the gentleman said before, they'll ask for 50 and hope they get 40 or 90, whatever your number was. They'll go this high hoping they're here, when really the fair amount's down here for us. So it's just this game that's played, and everybody just kind of nods. I think that let me turn to the PSC for a minute. I'm trying to understand how the commission allowed a utility to implement a foreign government's ESG policy on Missourians. And, did anybody there look at these proposed closures and things and go, hey, you guys are killing the coal plant. It's really going to raise the rates on everybody. It seems like nobody said that. And it just got the nod. You guys are experts too, You guys are engineers. They know, you guys understand power generation. You know what is a very expensive generation, what's a lower cost generation. You know that. And I don't know why you've allowed perfectly fine coal plants to be closed. Liberty has 0 coal plants. Also, too, the PSC should link rate increases to median incomes in county.
I'm sorry, I'm going to need you to wrap up. Thank you.
All right.
You can go ahead and finish your thought.
I'm done.
Okay.
I just have one more paragraph, but that's fine.
I do have a question.
Yes, Mr. Williams.
You referred to last year's billing fiasco. What were you referring to?
Well, wow. I don't have the bills. I brought the bills last time. We got 9 bills in 1 month. Sometimes, one time I got 4 bills in 1 day. They were all the same. Some people here got bills with 0. Some people got bills with like $3,000. It was crazy.
Was that just like 1 month, or was it for a period of time? And what period of time?
In my case, it was 1 month. So I just think there needs to be a shared sacrifice if there's going to be rate increases. Liberty needs to have some layoffs. They need to freeze salaries. They need to have a hiring freeze or something. And we've all been making sacrifices. We don't see them making sacrifices. Not at all.
Thank you, sir. Mr.
Thank you.
Williams, are there any other questions?
That was it, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Steve Brown, please. Steve Brown. Thank you, sir. Please make your way to a microphone. Thank you, sir. I'll go ahead and I'll swear you in real quick. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Steve Brown, SteveBrown.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead with your comment.
I'll try to make this very short. I'm kind of speaking for myself on everything here because, I figured up my bills for the last year, and I used like 31,134 kilowatts of electricity. That's an average of 2,395 a month. And my total bills were, well, it averaged about $357 a month. But my peak usage month was probably January. I got it highlighted here. That was 5,400 kilowatts. We figure these rates on 1,000 kilowatts or 1,500 kilowatts and say, okay, we're going to charge people 31, 38, whatever it is, dollars more a month. Well, I figured it up. I'm not on level pay. I believe in paying as you go. But my bill's going to go that month. If we have another one just like that next year, my bill's going to go up 45% or 44%. That's almost half, or 50%. So, I just think, well, I'm just like everybody else. I feel like I'm being ripped off. robbed when they ask for that big of a raise. 33%, whatever it is, 30%, knowing they'll probably get 15. I've been to these meetings before, not with Liberty meetings, but water meetings in the past. And it seems like every time, whatever they ask for, they got half of it. And, it's, the Public Service Commission is just too lenient on these people. This, what was I gonna say on this? They asked for $152.8 million, and now the proposal is $121.8 million, $31 million less. Well, half of that is how much? Half of 152. Why couldn't we give them half of that or less? I go along with what the last guy said. No, I can't remember exactly what it was now, but I'm sorry. I got this thing out there, front there, it says utility cost of living index. Utilities in the Joplin metro area are 5.2% more expensive than the Missouri state average. Is that true? Okay. Well,
Sir, if you could.
This part of the
finish up.
country, yeah, I'll hurry up. But this part of the country, they say, inflation is going down. Well, in this part of the country, in the Midwest, it's not. I don't know whether everybody else has noticed it or not, but I haven't been paying any less for gas or any less for groceries or any less for anything else. Everything is still going up or staying the same. So, I don't know how they can justify that kind of increase. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Are there any questions? No. Thank you, sir. Next, I have Chuck Crandon. Chuck Crandon. Okay, I'll circle back around to Mr. Crandon. David. Yes. Mr. Balan?
Yes, that's right.
I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please state and spell your name for the record.
David Balan, and that's DavidBalaun.
Thank you, Mr. Balan. Go ahead and give your comments to the commissioners.
So I'll try to be brief because a lot of what I have to say has already been said before. So I'm going to echo some of the things that the other gentlemen have said. For one thing, as you know, Liberty is a publicly traded company owned by people in Canada and elsewhere, and they have an obligation to them to produce profits, which I understand. There's also a monopoly, so we don't have an option to go to somebody else for our power. We have to go through them. And so when we pay for their green energy agendas and this other stuff, and that's passed on to us, their bad decisions, we rely on you, the Public Service Commission, to act and to help protect us, as they do have a monopoly. And as I understand it, that's your obligation and goal is to do that. So I would ask you to protect us from these people. I think that, they're charging us for their agenda. You can see that in the Asbury plant closure. You can see that in their green energy agenda that they've implemented here. You can see that in the government incentives that they collect when we install solar on our roof, and then they pay us next to nothing for the power that they get from us, while we pay to maintain their generation capacity. And then we take the loss at the end when we pay off the loan and we have to replace our roof, and that panel comes down. So I think just really what I would ask is that you help protect us from that monopoly. And that's really all I had to say.
Thank you, Mr. Balan. I appreciate that. Are there any questions for Mr. Balan? No? Thank you. I appreciate you coming to give your comments tonight. Next, we have Rob Brown. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Come on down, I will swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, and if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
It's Rob Brown, common spelling, R-O-B-B-R-O-W-N.
Thank you, sir, and please go ahead and give your comments to the commissioner.
So you had asked about a billing, there's been some commentary about a billing fiasco. We are originally from this area, we moved away. We most recently, a couple of years ago, moved back from Texas, constructed the house, moved last November. I finally did receive a bill in May. Transferred service from the house that we were in to the new home. Didn't see a bill in November, didn't see one in December, January, February, March, April. Got an email, hey, you got a bill. It was quite a bit of money, several $100s. So I called just to make sure it was supposed to be paid. I had it set up for auto payment, all that kind of stuff. I know you've had hearings on all of that, but just to make sure that you understand the lack of management of Liberty, that bill did not get auto paid. So I called to make sure there weren't gonna be issues with my power getting shut off and all that kind of stuff. Finally in May, the auto pay went through. So there is a challenge with Liberty managing their own business. Liberty originally asked for 15.99, a 16% increase last November, I believe it was. They amended that to basically the 30% that they're asking for now, under the guise that there was a technical snafu basically with the tariff filing. There is no way that a company the size of Liberty, understanding the regulation and what they need to go through in order to get the increase, would have some kind of a technical snafu with the tariff. They had a oh my moment and said, we didn't ask for enough, and they amended the increase. My personal opinion. There's no way, if they can't manage their billing, they can't manage the amount of increase that they're asking for, at a maximum, if I were on the commission, I would say, that's all you're getting, was your original ask. I would go no further than that. All of this started in January of 2017. We talked about all the greeny stuff, they're right. January 2017, Liberty, Algonquin, operating as Liberty, purchased Empire. October of that year, they said, Asbury's out of here, it's a coal plant, because they're greenies. At the time, I believe that retrofitting the Asbury plant and upgrading it again to meet its standards was gonna cost $20 million. That looks like a pretty darn good investment now, based on what they're asking for. They said part of the reason was they were gonna build wind turbines, bad idea in this part of the country, and they were gonna generate 800 megawatts of power with those. That was subsequently reduced through the commission to 600. I don't know what North Fork is producing today. I couldn't find that information, but I don't believe it's anywhere near even 600, and I'm not sure it's anywhere near what the former plant was producing. We paid to have the old plant raised, that's part of our bill now, and we pay a customer charge. We pay about 35, 40, 45 bucks, it depends on what the bill is, before we buy a lick of electricity. So we've got a bill before we're even able to operate our homes. So this has been in the making for quite some time. Again, if I were on the commission, I would say, all you're getting is what you originally asked for at the most. There's no way that a company that size should not be able to manage their capital expenditures. I've worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies. Capital expenditures are a huge part of what you budget for. You got to know how much it's going to cost to operate your business, how much it's going to cost to maintain your business, and what investments you need to make based on your customer base, your markets, and your growth strategy. And if they can't manage that, I shouldn't have to pay for it, and nobody in here should have to pay for that either.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your comments. And we do have questions.
Good evening. You said that your first bill was in May.
Correct.
When was your first bill supposed to be?
I would anticipate that if I moved in November, I would see a bill in December. That's how most monthly payments work as far as utilities are concerned. Water, gas if you have it, internet, any type of a bill.
Thank you.
Yes, I do have along the same lines. What time frame are we talking about? Are we talking about 2023, 2024,
When we moved?
2025? Yes.
November of '24, I received a bill in May of '25, so 3 months ago, 2 months ago.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I appreciate you coming to give our statement. Our next name is Sue Denig? Donig, thank you. I apologize. Ms. Donig, please come on down. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for the record. Please.
Sue, S-U-E, Doning, D-O-E-N-N-I-G.
Thank you, Mr. Donig. Ms. Donig, please go ahead and give your statement to the commissioners.
Thank you. I looked up some facts, like a lot of people didn't hear. A lot of us got a cost of living raise of 2.5%. My 5.2% went to my insurance for Medicare. Actually, I paid more than that. So my cost of living increase was nothing. Inflation for June of this year, I looked this up, was 2.7%. I've lost again. I also looked up the investor utilities in Missouri. There are 4 major ones. There are 40 co-ops and 55 public utilities, so around 100 of them. Liberty serves in 106 communities with just electricity. One of the things that I noted was that we had several increases in the last year for utilities. Missouri Water gave us a rate increase of 17%. Spire gave us an increase of 15%. And now they're asking for 30% for Liberty. I would ask the commission to look at that and see that we would have some maybe comparable rates that would be reflective of some of the other raises that were given to other utility companies.
Thank you. I appreciate your statement. Not hearing any questions, I appreciate you coming down today to give us your opinions.
Thank you.
The next name I have is Linda Truluck. Thank you. Come on down and we will swear you in. Elena Allen will be the next speaker. If they would like to go ahead and come on down and wait at the other microphone, that might help us move to get to everyone's comments a little bit better. Ms. Truluck, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. If you would please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
Okay, Linda, L-I-N-D-A, Truluck, T-R-U-L-U-C-K.
Thank you, ma'am. And if you would please give your comments to the commissioners.
Okay. Okay, I'm a recent widow, only have one income. I'm also disabled, and I'm just trying desperate to hold on to my hope. Since my husband passed, it's been now 2 years, everything has gone up. The homeowner's insurance, car insurance, this. Part of my problem, because I have a reason I'm breathing hard, I have a respiratory problem, so bear with me, please. And there's things in my home that I have to have in order to breathe better. I tried to shut those off. I already live with my thermostat at 79, and in the winter at 60. Very difficult, very difficult. Not only that, I think it's very unjust that Liberty wants to raise, but they don't want to cut any of their excess spending. I know I have a very close family member, I won't mention names, who works for them. 2 years ago, they sent her to Arizona for a meeting. They stayed at a 5-star hotel. The meeting was like 3 days, but they were there for a whole week. During that time, they had a pool party. They went, and now Liberty's paying for all this, to go dune buggying. They ate at fancy restaurants. And they, like I said before, they stayed at a 5-star hotel. That's not right. Not only that, from my good source, one of the managers in Canada was bragging that her bonus was $10,000 during that year. The person I'm talking about gets $3,000, plus is making a very, very, very good wage. They have excellent benefits as well, and a good, excellent retirement. We are paying for all that, and it's not right. 3 years ago, my husband was ill, and they talk about how they work with you. Liberty does not work with you. My husband was ill, and he was in the hospital. I got my electric bill. It was $700. I immediately called them and said, something's wrong, because I'm not even home right now because I've been spending a lot of time at the hospital. So they supposedly came out and checked my meter, said everything was fine. I had to pay an electrician to come out. They found absolutely nothing wrong. I didn't change a thing. The following month, I went to 400. The following month, down to 3. And then finally went back down to my normal $150. So where's my refund? Because nobody could ever find anything wrong. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Truelock. I appreciate you coming down to give us your thoughts.
Sure.
We do have questions for you.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Vandergriff.
You mentioned that there was a conference in Arizona. Can you tell me the time frame that was in?
About 3 years ago,
3 years ago? All right.
because my husband's been dead too, so I'm just kind of guessing in that ballpark.
All right. And you said that you had a $700 bill just now.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke with Empire about that bill.
Well, Liberty.
And would you, is it fair to say that it isn't, that wasn't resolved?
No, it never was. I just paid it. I drew, because my husband, like I said, was in the hospital, and he was working, but then he was on disability because it was a long-term thing going on. So I had to take, his disability wasn't enough, so I had to take out of our savings just to pay that ridiculous bill. I have a 1,600-foot home. And like I told you, I live in the dark as it is. I have a night light in the kitchen, I have one in the bathroom, that's it. And I still pay $172 a month. So
when you spoke to the company, did anyone inform you of your ability to request a informal complaint?
No.
Are you aware of your right to?
To be honest, no. At the time, I was very concerned about what was going on with my husband, because it was very a terminal illness. So furthest thing from my mind, I just knew that there was something wrong because I hadn't changed anything. And I didn't have time, or I can't say, the patience, I guess, to deal with that at that time.
I understand. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Truelock, for coming down. Elena Allen, thank you, ma'am. The next name we have will be Dwayne Miller. If Mr. Miller could start making his way to another microphone. Elena Allen, I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Alena Allen, A-L-E-N-A. Last name Allen, A-L-L-E-N.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. I appreciate that. And would you please go ahead and give your comments to the commissioners?
I kind of echo everything everybody's saying, and I advocate for a lot of the elderly in here. I work in healthcare, and I was a clinical and service navigator for Medicare. Liberty talks about these programs. They're winterizing programs or they're cost programs to help people. But people are already in poverty. And all these hoops and hurdles that we have to jump through to try to get people qualified for these programs. Keyword qualified. The threshold being what, $900 or less? Cost of living, you can't even afford to live on $900 or less. Food, everything. You know how many people I speak with every day that I hear this in my job, asking for help with bills or this or that, not just their electricity, but their health care. Do you know how many people sit there and ask me, do I not get my prescriptions? Do I not eat because I can't afford to pay my electric bill? Shame on you, Liberty. And you guys say we have these programs. I try to help people get on programs, and the months that it takes to get people qualified is ridiculous. Shame on yins.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Allen? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and call Dwayne Miller.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Our next name is Aita Anderson. Sorry about the mispronunciation.
It's Rita.
Rita. Thank you. I'm not reading that correctly. You'll be next, and right after that, we'll have Robert Schuman. Back to Dwayne Miller. Mr. Miller, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Dwayne Miller, D-W-A-Y-N-E-M-I-L-L-E-R.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Please go ahead with your comments.
I want to thank you for letting us express our thoughts and stuff. And basically, reasonable rates can be and are expected with any kind of servicing, but my thoughts are the following. 21 years up until January, I was living in McDonald County on New Mac electricity out in the country. And in '04, we moved there, and the rate was 13 cents a kilowatt. I'm talking the base rate, 600 kilowatt hours. Now it's 16.8, and that amounts to a 29% increase over 21 years, which is 1.39%. Now, if rural electric that goes over the mountains and the hills and the dales of McDonald County with 3 or 4 customers per mile can keep their rates down, versus cities that have 50, 60 venues per mile, I don't understand. Liberty area, Joplin's 24.8% are 60 to 85 years old. Median income is 48,000. Poverty is 18%. Neosho, 18% are 60 to 85-year-olds, talking mostly on fixed incomes. Median income now in Neosho is 54,000. Poverty is 16%. Mr. Christopher Walters gave testimony to the commission that electric bills should be, according to S&P, 2% of the median income for customers. Joplin should be $80 a month, more or less, and Neosho would be $90 a month with respect to their median income. Liberty is asking small kilowatt users for $112 a month. Stated that Mr. Walters stated that capital investments might need elevated, but have to be kept reasonable to maintain rates consumers can afford with respect to this income. In the fall of 2024, they mentioned a 15% rate hike, or it could be 30, but in November, they raised it to 19%, and then in February, it needed a 39% according to their holdout, just for 600 kilowatt hours per or less. This up and more up by the company leads one to suspect no one is really able to accurately predict what the company needs for the future. In the notice mailed out, they said residential customers increase will be $13 to $16, but when you look at 600 kilowatt users, it's $31. So nobody's keeping track. Why the increase? Well, in March 25, Liberty Energy, Electric, whatever, bought IMG Company for $19 million. And then in May, they spent $160 million buying PEC, I believe it's a company in Singapore, which had a revenue of $391 million. Interesting that the officers of Liberty received $15.5 million in compensation last year. $8.8 million of that was in stock options. The stock in June of 24 was $24.69 a share. It is now $11.49. Stock analysts, 11 of them, covering Liberty, expected over the next 12 months the stock will be $17.50, up 44%, which means these 5 officers are going to reap $4.6 million in extra compensation. Liberty claims increases are due to high demand to boost capacity in Joplin and Branson for security information system to replace poles, which will most benefit the commercial. They want to improve infrastructure, but in 2011, we know what happened to Joplin with the tornado. Most of this stuff is fairly new, the infrastructure in Joplin.
Mr. Miller, I need you to wrap it up, okay? Thank you.
Wow. Okay. 8 board members received $1,924,900 a year, which is $61,000 per quarterly meeting, or 12% more than the median income. And they're been investing money in oil fields and everything else, natural gas, not electricity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I don't see any questions. I do hate to rush you along, but we do have other witnesses here we want to try and get to. Rita Anderson.
Yes.
Ms. Anderson, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, and it's Rita Anderson, Anderson.
Thank you, ma'am. Please go ahead with your comments.
Because you weren't here earlier, a lot of information that the public gave, you never got to hear. And they're not, we think you heard it, but because now we know you did not. There are so many facts that you missed because people did not stay. This room was completely full and we had standing room only at one point. I'm a 74-year-old widow. I live now in an apartment because I sold my home when I lost my husband. My temperature this winter in my apartment was set on 60 degrees. It is now set on 83 degrees just to be able to make my utilities with all the other increases that I have. As you know, as everyone stated, our insurance commission has allowed huge increases in our car insurances, new tax increases. I came from a generation that we did not ask for assistance, so I have no assistance in any way, shape, or form. When they talk about programs available for people with low incomes, this generation has a great deal of problems asking. We depend on you to protect us. These increases are ridiculous. Their CEO in 2023 made $5.6 million. 5.6. In 24,
he made $5.836 million in 1 year, an increase of over $236,000. $236,000 would probably supplement the income of 40% of the people in this room. Can you imagine? And he gets it, and he goes to a meeting 4 or 5 times a year, and you want us to continue to pay this ridiculous amounts of money when we're surviving. That's all we're doing is surviving. I personally worked till I was 67 so that I could get my maximum Social Security. 1 year later, I lost my husband. So I lost all my Social Security. I have his. This happens in this room. There's probably between widows and widowers that our incomes get slashed continually because of these factors, but you never cut anything. This person who has sat here with a stone face looking at us, knowing the incomes his people make on an executive amount, I don't know how he can look at us with a straight face and not feel like he could crawl under that table. It is so unfair, and we are so depending on you to represent us, to stop this nonsense.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Anderson. I do want to correct the record. Normally, the commissioners and myself, we don't really interact with the witnesses at the local public hearings. As I said, the commissioners still need to make their evidentiary hearing, so they aren't actually able to answer questions. I don't think this impacts the case, though. This is Mr. Vandergriff. He works for the commission staff. They are a nonpartisan staff, and they advise the commission. They're one of the parties with the case. The gentleman sitting next to him is Mr. Williams. He's with the Office of Public Counsel. They represent the public.
We knew he was on our behalf, but we were under the understanding because he was sitting with representatives from Empire that he was also a representative. Well, there were 2 people answering the question.
I just wanted to make sure, and all 3 of those parties will be answering the questions at the Q&A. But everyone up here is generally trying to maybe keep a blank facial expression, because this is, in effect, a court case. Right. So we're taking in the testimony and evidence, but it is difficult for us, too, to hear the stories and really not be able to give the empathy that we would outside this room.
Well, I don't know how many of us misunderstood.
No, I certainly understand.
He was not a representative of Empire, that I know I personally did, and I thought, how can you listen to these ridiculous things and stay?
I understand, but we need to go to the other witnesses.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Robert Schuman?
Yes.
Okay, and the next witness we'll have is Emily Wilson. Back to Robert Schuman. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. If you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Robert Schuchman, R-O-B-E-R-T, S-C-H-U-C-H-M-A-N-N.
Thank you, and I apologize for my mispronunciation.
It's all right. Had worse.
Mr. Schuchman, please go ahead and give us your comments.
I'm the retired team leader and engineer for General Electric for this 4-state area. I was responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment in the hospitals, high-end equipment. Most people don't realize that the utility is responsible for mostly power quantity, and they're just now getting into a little power quality, and they have a loophole that they can average it within 24 hours. So when you have your electronic devices go out in your house, it's usually because of the brownouts and the distortions. And that is a fact because I have iSense monitors and monitoring equipment over this whole four-state area. So I know exactly what the power's doing. And the power was very, very bad before the tornado. So bad that every hospital had to have a UPS in order to get their equipment running, or it would be destroyed. And when I would call Empire and talk to them, they'd say, yeah, and I would try to get them to do maintenance, to trim power limbs, change out transformers and stuff. There was a lot of stuff. People don't realize the tornado was, power-wise, is the best thing that happened to us because they got rid of all the tree limbs they never would take care of. You never saw tree rite anywhere before the tornado, hardly. In fact, I had a limb on my neighbors that I warned them about, and when we had that snowstorm, the tree fell on that power line. My block was without power for a week. Half my block lived with me for a week. We were the last ones to get power. So if you can't make money, if you can't get more money, then one of the things you need to do is be more responsible with your cost. And they've not been good stewards with the cost. Compensation for executives, the windmills and Asbury Power Plant were just politically motivated green energy decisions that didn't make sense. They would never pay for themselves. Right now, Tree Rite this year is the first time you can see a Tree Rite truck out doing anything, anywhere. But they're not even making sense. They're going by a list in their order, and when it's raining, and they should just go on a hard street and trim limbs and do repairs, they're driving in people's yards, such as mine, cutting 4-inch ruts. When you say, just move on to the next one, come back later, they don't even do anything that makes sense. So they're increasing my cost. Liberty has not engaged in the virtual net metering, so they're not saving me any money. I'm generating enough power for both my house and my farm, but they're only allowing me to use it on my farm. So you think I'm gonna turn a light off now to save, because you're only giving me 3 cents back, and you're gonna charge me 15, 25 cents for my power. So you're not giving me anything for mine, and then, so I'm just gonna leave my lights on. I'm just gonna burn it up. I'm not gonna give it back to you for nothing. But you should allow me to use that on my house. I get it on the same bill. That's not even right. So and then if you have a transformer blow, you warn them, hey, there's a transformer about to blow, or it blew. What shows up? 4 trucks. A dump truck, a backhoe, and two trucks. And only one guy's working. The other guys are getting double, triple time. So you're not managing your cost well. You don't deserve a raise. In fact, you deserve to just break even. So if you can't get your costs in, then don't push your exorbitant bad decisions off on the consumers. It's not even fair.
Sir, I'm sorry, we've reached our time. Was that your last thought? Okay. Are there any questions? I don't see any questions. Thank you, Mr. Schuckman. Emily Wilson. Come on down, Miss Wilson. The name I have after that is Gary Powers, and then K. Neil Pugh. Miss Wilson, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Sure. It's Emily Wilson, EMILY WILSON.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Please go ahead with your comments.
Yeah. So I can't speak to the intent of like all of the parties involved, but I do ask as a consumer that the commission ensure that the rate increase is comparable to what the surrounding other utility companies are asking for. It does not make sense in my mind for us to have to compensate a cost that should have been involved in a planning, and at least in my mind, it should have been involved in the company's planning for their infrastructure, and that shouldn't be the burden of us as in consumers. So again, I just would ask that the commission ensure that the rate increase is comparable to what the surrounding areas from other companies are asking for as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I appreciate that. Seeing no questions, we'll move on to Mr. Powers. Thank you, Mr.
Gary Powers, G-A-R-Y-P-O-W-E-R-S.
Thank you, sir. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead with your comment.
Well, here's my thoughts on it. I'm 76 years old. I'm not really worried about making a lot of money. When you're older, you cannot generate the money that you was when you was 40. So my idea is to save money. I have 4 accounts for years. I'm a second generation business owner. In the last 6 years, both of my businesses have went up 2.5 times. About 4 or 5 years ago, I went to a meeting. An engineer from Empire said, I want to look at your bills and your kilowatts and everything. You know what they found out? I use less kilowatts as I get older. I'm still working. It was from rate increases. Now, here's what I think. I absolutely have I might be wrong, but when I see smoke, I think if there's fire. I think the lobbyists are paying off the utility commission, because my thoughts are, and I don't like to use this term, but I think the utility commission has raped the customers. And I've seen increases. I've been there all my life, and the only increase I've seen where they would not give it to Liberty was about 5 or 6 years ago. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. I appreciate your comments. Next, we have K. Neal Pugh. After that, Max Myers. K. Neal, I think it is P-U-G-H. Pugh. Sir, can I get your name?
Max Myers.
Mr. Myers, let's go ahead and we'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. If you would state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Max Myers. It's M-A-X-M-Y-E-R-S.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead with your comments.
All right. Well, it's come to my attention that this is probably the poorest managed outfit I have ever seen. And everything that I'm hearing tonight just goes to prove that. I did a little research on my own. When these boys came to town, they built the Riverton and the State Line plants, 3 terawatts of electricity. Our rates went up 10%. Then they started off on the Green New Scam. They did Golden City, Galesburg, Minden Mines at a cost of $1 billion, which I heard tonight, apparently they got carbon credits for half of that. And I would say that maybe the auditor gal that was here should see what happened to the money that they got from selling those carbon credits, because it came out that they only paid $500 million to build all the windmills. That looks like that might have just kind of slipped through the cracks there. But anyway, that was 600 megawatts. And now to pay for that, they're wanting a 40% increase to get 600 megawatts, and they got 3 terawatts for a 10% increase back in the day. Their customer service has been terrible. I can't say that I've had any problem with them, other than you can't, until recently, you couldn't really get onto the website to pay your bill because you couldn't find out who and where. And also it came out today that they've changed the top management, which I think is a good thing. I hope that that improves somewhat for them. Also, I heard about I did this research, I wasn't sure it was right, so I wasn't going to say anything, but it came up that a year ago, they were selling for $24 a share. Now they're down to $11 a share. Their earnings per share last year was 12 cents, not $1, which would be 10%. It was 1% is what they earned last year. And now they're wanting us to make up that difference so they can get their 10%. And that just, I don't know. I think maybe these boys ought to just go on down the line. Let's get a new outfit in here to run this.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. I don't see any questions. I appreciate you coming down to participate tonight. The next names we have on the list are Dustin Demir. Thank you. And John Ockert. I'm reading Ockert. Okay, thank you, sir. We'll catch up with you in just a second. Dustin Demir.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
If you would please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Dustin Demir, that's D-U-S-T-I-N, D-E, capital M-I-E-R.
Thank you. And if you could please go ahead and give your comments to the commissioners.
Okay. First off, Ms. Donyeg, we got a 3% raise every year. It's 3%. Even during 2021, 2022, when interest rates it was real high, we only got a 3%. It was a joke. It was just a joke. Currently, I've got a problem. I think we've got a weak Missouri Public Service Commission Council, as they can't even remember when the last time they said no to Liberty Electric rate increase proposal as outlined in the question and answer segment. If and when the Missouri Public Service Commission Council accepts Liberty's Electric outlandish 39% rate increase, at that point, we customers were getting robbed. 100% getting robbed by Liberty Electric, because Liberty Electric cannot even offer its customers a reliable billing program. I have been experiencing power outages, irregular billing, and piss-poor customer service from Liberty Electric. Once the weak Missouri Public Service Commission Council passes the 39% rate increase, at that point, we need competition. We need to be able to choose who our electric provider is, so we need competition. So Mr. Coleman, Mr. Kohlmeyer, who's listening to this, one more time, we need competition.
Thank you, Mr. Demir. We do have a question from Mr. Williams.
Yes, I do. Would you elaborate more on the billing issues you referenced?
Okay, so I own a house, 2-bedroom house, about 2 years ago, so I was on budget billing. My electric bill was $70 a month, and then it jumped to $120 after they redid my budget billing. Called in many times, said, how on earth can I be using that much kilowatts? So we went through it. We analyzed month by month by month. I've spent hours on the phone. So they ended up giving me a credit back. So I got a credit of $500. So I was like, well, all right, we'll go ahead and apply that credit. Well, that credit never got served to my bill. So I had to call in again. Called in about 3 different times, talked to 3 different agents. Finally, I got that credit to be able to be applied to my account, which has only been applied, I think, about 3 months ago. So right now, I'm only paying $30 a month, but I'm using that $500 credit. I wanted to go ahead and tap into that. But they finally did get to that, but it was just, it took forever for me to get an answer and for me to get a resolution to my issue.
Well, you said forever. What time period are you talking about? Months, days, weeks?
Well,
years?
specifically, are you talking about when I called in multiple times?
Start from the beginning and just give me kind of a time frame about what happened when.
So it was approximately about 2023 is when my bill changed. So it jumped from $70 to about $120.
When in 2023, roughly?
So I'm gonna have to refer you, I'd have to get my exact bills if we're gonna get technical. I mean, I can log into my account and I can show you.
No, well, was it summer, was it spring, was it fall?
No, my budget billing ends in October, so it would have been October whenever I inquired about my budget billing increase. So as far as timeframes goes, I can provide you bills and show that to you.
Roughly when did you get resolution that you were satisfied with?
That was approximately about 4 months ago. I finally got to the bottom of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And we have, please go ahead and tell me your last name.
John Ockert.
Ockert, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ockert, and please go ahead and give your statement to the commissioners.
All right. My name is John Ockert. I'm a citizen of Joplin. I would agree with the statements beforehand about not setting a standard for profit for a for-profit organization by this committee. I would like to say that the commission in the current rate increase suggestion or request, deny it as it stands. 2 major things is, one, I believe that with the fees that are applied, the multiple fees for different line items on the bill, and requesting for some of those line items to increase or additional line items to be added, it is as though we're being killed, death by 1,000 cuts. I think a simplified bill should be applied to the citizenry so that we understand what we're paying for. A consumption-based billing per kilowatt hour would be beneficial. Keep it simple, stupid for us to understand what we're paying for and why we're paying for it. The other thing is that I believe that for whatever reason, mismanagement, poor investments, increased in investments for capacity and efficiency, that the amount being requested is high, too high. They mention line items like increasing capacity and efficiency. Efficiency reduces costs of transmission or power generation, wherever they get those efficiencies from. Increased capacity means we can sell more kilowatt hours to the people or get more clients, increasing profit per kilowatt hour because you're delivering those goods. Or if we're not here to consume those goods, they can sell that on the market as power companies do. A few other line items, they have a last bit about this Fresh Start initiative for those that can't afford their bills. And we heard earlier from a farmer who has net metering not working in his standard, where he has credits that expire like there's singular rollover minutes, where maybe there should be a pool established to where his excess credits can can be provided to the needy, or an established pool to where that can be distributed to those that cannot afford their bills, instead of just having one hand feed while the other hand take away from the same populace. Those are my thoughts. I hope they come into your considerations. I'm not here to talk about whether or not the dinosaur of the Asbury plant needed to go and whether that was a good thing, but I'm okay with it. We should do something else, but I think there may be some expenditures that should be taken away, because when you invest in new infrastructure, hopefully it's been made to where it's profitable at some point. So we need to have an expire on the fees that are provided, and maybe a simplified billing and less of a bill.
Thank you. And we do have a question.
Yes, from Stone Cold PSC. Sorry.
You mentioned Fresh Start.
Yes, sir.
But I don't think I caught, what your point was on it. Would you mind repeating it?
Yeah, so it was one of the line items, the email that I received from Liberty, and if I don't get it correctly, maybe she could expand upon it. But it seemed like they were going to have maybe a forgiveness at the end of a year, or some kind of charity case. I believe there was an elderly person up here that said it was hard for her generation to take charity. I believe I'm not near her age, no offense or anything, but I do also have that mindset where we need to be able to be self-sufficient and take care of ourselves. And if not take care of ourselves, maybe take care of other people like that farmer wants to. I think that he has the benefit of having solar and having a surplus of that. And instead of it just falling off at the end of the year and being a tax credit or just fading away to time, that he can donate that or have some kind of public pool to where that can be credited to those that could use it. That's my mindset. I don't know. There might be a better plan that somebody else could come up with.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I just want to make sure everyone understands, we've gone through about 20 witnesses, and I have about 60 on my list. So we have another 40 to go. That's why I'm trying to move quickly on the in-between. I really don't want to cut off anyone for going over the time limits, but we are trying to make sure that everyone gets to have their say. Leslie Brown is the next name I have, and then Camille Lombardi Olive, and then after that, Eddie Johnson. Are you Miss Brown?
Mm-hmm.
I'll swear you in, Miss Brown. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And if we could please keep the noise in the room down while everyone else is testifying. Ms. Brown, if you would please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
Leslie Brown, Leslie Brown.
Thank you, ma'am. Please go ahead with your comment.
I had a question for you all. They spent $700 million, and I was wondering, do you all audit them? Or do they have to show you where their profit went for the last 5 years, what they spent profit on? Why, this year they spent $700 million of our money that they want back. Basically, they're asking for us back to pay them over the next 5 years. I don't understand, as a consumer, how they were allowed to spend this money without any input from the Missouri Public Service Commission. That's, in my brain, you all should have some kind of input into what this company spends their money on, and then comes back to ask us for the money back. And then they were talking about during the question answering part that they were going to bring it down to $121 million. That's still a lot of money that they spent, when maybe in the last 4 years they spent their profit on other things instead of these improvements that they wanted to do that they did this year. And I thought they were asking for this money to make these improvements in the future. But no, they've spent the money already and are now asking you and us to pay them back. And I don't understand that. Is there no auditing procedure that you all go through? You're the Public Service Commission. I feel like you should be auditing this company. Do they not have any kind of overseeing from you? I know you're not going to answer my question, but I've listened all evening, and that's where my thoughts are. So I'm thinking they made some profit over the last 5 years that they've had this company, and what did they spend that money on? Why are they asking for $700 million? That's a lot of money, you know, for any of us. We don't even understand that quantity of money. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. I appreciate your comments. Do we have a
Not really a question, but there are people here that should be able to answer some of your questions later.
I was going to point that out as well. Thank you, Mr. Williams. If you're here at the end of our hearing, the attorney for the company, for the staff, or for the public counsel, I'm sure would be able to answer your question. I wish I could, but like I explained, the way that a rate case works is it's very much similar to a court case in a court of law. So similar to how a judge couldn't answer what all the evidence they're looking at, it's a very similar situation here. And as well, the commissioners are still receiving evidence. We haven't had the evidentiary hearing yet. So a lot of that process is still in play. I wish I could touch on it in more detail, but if at the end of the hearing you can ask one of the councils, or I think we have some members of staff here, they can probably help you out. Our next witness, is this Miss Lombardi Olive?
Yes, Camille Lombardi Olive.
Thank you. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Camille Lombardi Olive, Camille, last name LOMBARDI-OLIVE.
Thank you. And please go ahead with your comment.
Yes, I'm also elderly and supposedly disabled. I mean, that's how they retired me. And like other people, I keep my AC on 82 during the day. I try to avoid lowering it before 10 because that's the golden hours, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's when you can almost put some electric on and not die from the cost. So in the winter, I put it down to 56, and I use a heated mattress pad, and then during the day it's at 62. I am in the bad category for being charged. See, I use less than 500 kilowatts on average most of the year except the summer. So I will be paying, according to their proposal, 39.45%, which is probably an average of $40 added onto my bill. I moved into the house in November 2022, and in May of 2023, I had my electric redone. You know, I took out all the gang boxes from the 40s and all that, put in a 220, fuse box. There was a 60 amp, whatever, fuse box in there. And they told me they were gonna change out the meter to a smart meter. I didn't want a smart meter, but they put it in anyways. Liberty is now claiming they put that in 2020. I had to remind them I didn't move in until 2022, and I didn't change it out till 2023. So I guess they forgot. My bills went up immediately, and so I've been talking about this publicly for 2 years because it's like, it already looks like they imposed a 30% increase on my billing. I only got one apology because my billing is erratic. Some months I get it, sometimes I go 3 months and then I get a surprise. You know, the surprise is not a good surprise because then I get 3 bills. I don't know what I'm being charged for. I don't know my kilowatt usage. I don't know what my off-peak usage was. I can't go back and disseminate what I'm being charged for. And half the time I swear that I've paid for the bill and I'm being overcharged, overpaying. 1 month I got, 1 month I got 2 bills. One was like $60-something, another one was like 100 and something, let me see. Same month. It was May. Here's one for 64, kilowatt usage of 344. So, you know, I'm in the penalty phase because of that 39%. And then May 2nd, I got another bill earlier for $230, and I only used 239 kilowatts. So to be honest with you, I have no idea if this is the fault of a robot that they're utilizing, or if their algorithm is flawed, or there's just an idiot running billing. But the way they explained it to me, they blamed it on a third party. You know, they have a third party billing system. So whoever that third party is, whatever third world country they live in, I think they need to get rid of them and get more people that are qualified to actually do billing, where we could get it monthly and we could see exactly what we're being charged for. Because to me, if you look at them up, we're talking about probably way over maybe $1,500, $1,600 for what, 6 months? And yet my usage is 375 or 371 kilowatts, 239 kilowatts, 280 kilowatts. I mean, that's like I just use a light bulb. 310. So I would like them to explain what's gone wrong with their billing. Okay, because to me, the billing is a mess. That's number one. There's no accuracy, there's no trust. I'm pretty sure I'm being ripped off, which, by the way, is theft by deception. When you keep mailing it and sending it to me, well, half the time I don't get it because I haven't. I have informed delivery from the post office, which means they take photos of what they're, you know, what's coming in my mailbox. So I could prove I didn't get the bills because it was never mailed. It was never put in my mailbox. And yet I've got this mess. So when you mail something that's inaccurate or fraudulent, that is racketeering, theft by deception. That's a RICO charge right there. And that's one thing they need to be investigated on. It's not just everything else they're doing, it's like what is going on with their billing. It's a big error that needs to be dealt with. The other thing and the last thing is, where is our power coming from? Is it coming from Canada? Okay, are they producing it at a power plant there? Because if you've looked at the tariffs, Canada just imposed a 25%, that's Ontario, that's where that Algonquin Utilities is based. They just imposed, in you know, kind of response to President Trump, a 25% tariff on utilities.
Sorry, I need to ask you to finish your thought.
So, are we getting our power from electric or is it generated here? Because if we're getting it there and it's coming all this way, we're getting a lot of extra fees added. I just think you need to look at the billing and see exactly what we're being charged for. You know, I moved in 2022, but I'm getting charged for a storm in 2021, a destruction of a power plant, I don't know when that was. This seems to be the most ridiculous theft I've ever seen, and you should all be ashamed of yourself.
I do have a question.
Yes, Lombardi Olive, we have questions?
Yes.
Ms. Lombardi Olive, I see you brought some documents with
Yes.
you. Do you want the commission to see any
Oh,
of
well,
those?
they could have it if they could make sense of it. These are copies. I mean, you could throw it up and, you know, make an airplane out of it, you know, there's,
What are they copies of?
supposedly these are my bills. I haven't been able to take it home and verify that this is the actual bill, because as I told you, I would go 3 months at a time without a bill. So I asked them to send me my bills because I don't trust what I'm being charged for.
Would you like for the
Yeah,
commission
they
to see
can
those?
have them. These are copies. They could have them.
I would like to have those marked as an exhibit.
Because I can't verify that this is accurate. Since most of these, and there is one that says they apologize for the billing, you know, for delaying this bill. I guess maybe I'm the only one that got an apology. You get me complaining all the time.
Mr. Williams, could I ask you to take possession of those for like the next hour or so?
Sure.
I'm just running out of room up here. And I think we have a second question if you're done.
Well, as I understand it, these are copies, so,
Yeah, they can have them. These are copies.
okay.
I don't need them.
And I will state, my understanding is that confidential information will not be made public. Your
Well, it's my
person-
address. If somebody else wants to pay my bill, they're welcome to.
And by that, I'm referring to your personal identifying information.
We will make sure and take care of that, Mr. Vandergriff.
So just making sure, do you want to mark those as confidential because it has your personal identifying
No,
information?
I'm a public figure, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
My name is known, so it doesn't matter. If you Google me, you'll find out. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Lombardi Brown. Eddie Johnson is our next witness. Please come on down, sir. And then Patricia Spencer, and then Michael Moore. Mr. Johnson, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Eddie Johnson, EDDIEJOHNSON.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Please go ahead with your comment.
This is about some of the billing and a spike in energy. We just built a home. This was back in February of '24. During that time, we were in between contractors for about 2.5 weeks. You know how that goes. You know, you get to the sheetrock stage, waiting on the painters, waiting on the cabinet companies, etc. So there was nobody there. During a 17-day period, we used 7,500 kilowatts with 2 outlets and 6 temporary lights to the tune of $900. We live in the home, and our last cycle was 1,300 kilowatts, and it's a total electric home with a gas fireplace. So also was just the inconsistent billing, 11 bills in 9 weeks. None of them were the same. No dates were the same. We were making the minimum payment by just going down to the Empire office and making the minimum payment because we weren't receiving any bills. Have yet to see any of those credits. I have not paid this $900. I paid the difference when the bill comes, but I refuse to pay that $900 during that construction. There's just no way. Everything's been checked. They said they were blaming it on the HVAC. HVAC was actually installed 2-3 days after this spike supposedly took place. One of the Liberty employees told us that the spike surge was happening between 5 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. There's nobody work at those hours. And we weren't there. I mean, there was nobody there. We would go there during the day to just check things out, but nobody's working. So it was 2 days after the outage, or after this spike surge, was when my other contractor finally came in and we were able to complete the home. So this has been disputed. I have filed a complaint, and you have the information on that. But yeah, just the inconsistent billing. So how they need to get all of this taken care of before they can ever ask for any kind of a raise. I mean, they've got to get this straight.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We do have a question. Mr. Vandergriff?
Just for clarity.
Yes, sir.
You said that you haven't received credits. Specifically, what are the credits for?
The credits would have been what we were paying all along, just the minimum payment.
And what?
Without having a bill.
And what were the minimum payments?
You know, how much? $15. So we were paying that, but there's still to this day, there is no record of any of those credits ever made towards that, any payment of any kind.
Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse me. What time frame are we talking about?
February of this last year.
February of 2025?
24, yes. 25, yes.
And it's still unresolved?
Oh, yeah, no, there's nothing. Like I said, we filed a complaint. We have a number and everything on the claim, but yeah, it's continued on.
When you say you filed a complaint, is it an informal complaint or
Yeah,
formal?
yes.
Or informal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Patricia Spencer, followed by Michael Moore, followed by Nathan Jones. Patricia Spencer. We'll come back to Ms. Spencer. Michael Moore. Michael Moore. Nathan Jones. Mr. Jones, come on down. I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
My name is Nathan Jones, Nathanjones.
And please go ahead with your comments to the commissioners.
Again, my name is Nathan Jones. So my wife and I'm a teacher. My wife is a postal worker. We live over in Carl Junction. This rate increase would be about $150 a month for us, if I did the calculations correctly. My increase of pay this year as a teacher was $50 a month. So this upcoming year, I'll get $50 a month. But if you give them this rate increase, I will still be at a deficit. This rate increase would be very difficult for us. Mr. Wilson, who works at Liberty, who spoke during the question and answer time, said that he was here to earn our trust back. Am I saying that correctly? And I don't mean to disparage him, just that we were told in this very room, I was here when they proposed and did the public meeting for the windmills and the closing of the Asbury plant. They told us in that meeting that this would reduce our cost. Obviously, that's not been the case. We continue to pay more. So this is the way he proposes to earn back our trust, is to increase our rates. And he seemed very glad about this, but I was very frustrated. He suggested that they had a new person, a new chief of some kind of public relations, customer service, some kind of an administrative bloat position that was going to make things better for us, that this person had all this experience. And I'm just seeing like six figures in my head roll around to justify these rate increases, to supposedly make us to salve the pain that they're causing us. This Asbury closure, they told us it would save us money. They told us that the windmills would save us money, but the truth is it was a green energy shell game where they were moving money around. They said that the customers would pay half of the cost in rate increases. That's what and the other half was provided by carbon credits, some kind of a government scheme. They never paid any. We paid it all. We paid it through rate increases, and we paid it through our taxes that the government gave them, some kind of a scheme that they had worked out. We never saw any benefit from those. Minimal benefit. The woman that was here before, she didn't testify, but she spoke. She said that she lives here too, and that she cares about this community. And I believe her. She does live here. I recognize her. But I don't think that this rate increase is coming from here. I would say, where is this rate increase originate from? Does it originate in Missouri, or does it originate in Canada?
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Can you finish your thought?
A change from 16% to 30% in November to January for their requested rate increase. That sounds political, and my finances can't afford Liberty's politics. Rather than ask me to take a haircut on this, why doesn't the for-profit Canadian company take the haircut? I would invite the public commission to retaliate towards Liberty and grant them zero increase for this outrageous.
Thank you. Again, I'm sorry, we have another 30 witnesses we need to get to. We want to listen to all of you. We are trying to make sure we have enough time. Were there any questions for Mr. Jones? Hearing none, thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here today. Deborah Gaskill. Thank you, ma'am. Next on our list is Anna Lee. Allenbaugh. Thank you. And then Cheryl Calvert. Back to Deborah Gaskill. I'll swear you in, Ms. Gaskill. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please go ahead and state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Deborah Gaskell, DebraGaskill.
Thank you, ma'am. Please go ahead and give your comments to the commission.
Okay, I am a caseworker at Salvation Army, and so I am speaking on behalf of clients. I get about 300 calls a month for a variety of assistant requests. About 95 of those are electric shutoff notices, about 75 the city of Joplin bill, about 45 for their water, about 30 Spire, and about 50 requests for rent assistance. That's on average. Those numbers are not exact, but we have a very limited budget at Salvation Army. So out of the 300 calls, we can help 10 clients. There is not enough funds in the city of Joplin to help all of the people that are hurting. I know I'm not the only client or the only caseworker that does utility assistance or rent assistance. Economic Security does, Catholic Charity does. We are all out of funds within a week or two. Churches will help when they can, but even then, there is not enough funds. 17% of the population in Joplin are below poverty. More than that are in that about $1,200 a month is what they earn. You start adding the rate increase for their rent, which has gone up 30 to 50% in the last 3 years. My help with rent used to be about $500, what a one bedroom is. Now it's about $900. It's an entirely crazy amount that these low-income people are trying to survive on. A 35 to 40% increase, you are going to create homeless that you've never seen before. And they're not homeless because they want to be homeless. They're not drug addicts. They are hardworking people that have worked all their lives, or they're disabled. They do not have the funds or the means to get more funds. I'm asking, please do not raise the rates. A 10% rate on return, I mean, I would love to make a 10% rate on return. We are investors in my family. I'm happy if we make 5%, that's great. And I think that's a normal amount. So you are doubling what a normal rate on return is for a normal person that's investing. Plus then we are paying for all of their expenses. They get to make profits, we get to pay the expenses for them. My clients cannot afford that. And I'm not talking about me. I actually am lucky enough that we have family money that we can pay our bills. But my clients cannot, and I'm advocating, please, please do not raise this rate to 40%. I think people are willing to pay their bills if they use the utility. If they use it, they're willing to pay for it. They are not willing to pay for all these extra little things that they don't get to benefit from, really.
Thank you, Ms. Gaskill. I appreciate you coming and giving us your comments. Are there any questions for Ms. Gaskill? Thank you. I appreciate it. Next, we have Ms. Anna Lee Allenbaugh, then Cheryl Calvert, Janet Daniels, okay, I'll keep moving down the list. Dr. John Broom. I'm sorry? No, I've got an Anna Lee Allenbaugh, Cheryl Calvert, Janet Daniels. I have an Angela after Dr. John Broom. You're up next.
Good evening.
Dr. Broom, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do solemnly swear.
Thank you. And if you would please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Dr. John, John, Broom, Broom.
Thank you, Dr. Broom. And if you would go ahead and give us your comments.
Thank you. Liberty is saying that they want 10% return on investment for their stockholders. Yet Simply Wall Street gives them 12% rate of return. And Bargain Hunter, another stock site, says it's 17%. Excuse me. I fear I've sacrificed my eyesight in the service of my students. Liberty is required to inspect infrastructure for circuits, streetlights, underground units, wood poles, the service line to your house, that sort of thing. They had an assigned number of inspections of 74,560 in 2024, yet they only did 9,500 of those, or 12.7%. I also want to speak to the billing issue. I received a bill in, I believe it was July of 2024. I did not get another bill until February of 2024. Or excuse me, February of 2025. Then I got 4 bills in like 3 days, all for different amounts. I cannot access their website. I work online for a living. I believe they hired the firm that built the Obamacare website. Yeah, or a couple blind Canadians. A 40% increase. My income comes from 2 sources. One of them is my administrative job with the university, and the other one is a teaching job with the same university that's a contract base. My pay was reduced in 2009 because of the housing crisis on the teaching side. That pay has not gone up since then. My administrative pay has had a total of 12% in that total time frame. I retire in December, and due to my own stupidity, I don't have a huge retirement account. My wife will retire in 2 years. There's no way on this green earth we can afford a 40% increase in our utility bills. And on top of that, 40%? Really? What are we paying for? A bunch of pie in the sky green energy? How many thousands of birds does that green energy site kill per year? How often is our wind in southwest Missouri either negligible or blowing like a hurricane?
Dr. Broom, if I could ask you to finish.
Thank
up.
you.
Thank you, sir. We do have a question, Doctor.
I do have one question. Has your billing issue been resolved, or is it
Not
still
really. I
outstanding?
still can't access the website. I've switched over from electronic billing, which I didn't get, to paper billing, which I don't know, and now I'm getting electronic billing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Broom. I appreciate you being here. Angela, I cannot make out your last name. And how do you spell that?
Like New York.
Oh, York. Thank you. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And Miss York, please go ahead and give us your comments.
So in 2003, when the tornado went through Carl Junction, I had to get a new home. And Empire had a contract where you bought your meter and everything through them, and they were responsible for it forever. So I had to call a Liberty, and they sat there and called me a liar over the phone. It took them about 8 hours to come out to my house. It was the meter and the whole box pedestal. The first guy that came out told me it was my responsibility, but there was an older gentleman that had worked for Empire that said, no, that's ours. They finally fixed it. And then I called that again because I'm having other issues with it, and I'm being told I'm a liar, that this doesn't exist. I had to pay for this contract for Empire. I have your guys' original pedestal at my house. You guys put the metal in, you put the pedestal in. And besides that, I mean, talking about money, I have a disabled kid. I help my mother, who's 74 years old. My electric is $500 to $600 a month. I can pay it. I have no problem with it. But you're talking about increasing it to almost $800 to $1,000? What, I'm gonna have to pay for my mom and everybody else? This is just ridiculous. But I want someone at my house to fix my electric issues, because it is on your side. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. York. We do have a question. Mr.
Yes.
Vandergriff.
You said that you had a contract and you mentioned pedestal. What kind of contract was it for clarity?
So when, years ago, in 2003, when the tornado went through in Carl, you could either buy your own meter or you could go get a contract through Empire, and they put it in and they were responsible for the care of it. It could blow away. Anything could happen from that pedestal to the whatever was their responsibility. The wires from the pedestal to the house were my responsibility.
Okay, and the issue isn't resolved yet, correct? Have you been informed of your ability to launch a informal complaint?
No, I've just been told I was lying, this didn't exist, so no.
Well, that is an option. You can file an informal complaint with the Public Service Commission.
Okay.
I'm not totally clear on what issues still unresolved. Would you explain?
I still have issues. I will have flickering of power. Oh, thank you. There's flickering of power when the wind blows. The pedestal will move and the power will flicker, which
So-
is a fire hazard and can burn my house down.
So it's quality of service issues you have.
It's a fire hazard. They're not coming out doing their, honoring their contract.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. York. I appreciate you being here tonight. Rory Stat, then Carol Cook, and then Billy Freer. Rory Stat. Carol Cook. Billy Freer. Gary Brammer. I think it's a B-R-A-M-M-E-R. Gary. Nancy Wilder. Daniel Humble. After Mr. Humble, we have Judith Augustinoff and Richard Geiser. Mr. Humble, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. And please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Yes, that's Daniel Humble, D-A-N-I-E-L, last name Humble, H-U-M-B-L-E.
And please go ahead with your comments.
So we've been living in Southwest Missouri for about 10 years under NUMAC for our house outside of Granby, Missouri. Had no issues with them whatsoever. We opened 2 businesses in Granby, Missouri, two restaurants. We started having issues with Liberty with billing. That's the major thing I've heard tonight. Back in March of 2024, the landlord was paying it, and then they said, hey, we need to switch off. We're doing new stuff. So we said, okay. Put in our name. We called. Nothing. After the first month, you should get a bill. That's how it's supposed to be. It was in our name. We paid the deposit. Nothing. In April called. Nothing. May we called several times. Nothing. This is still in 2024. Called in June, July, August. We finally moved from one location on Main Street there in Granby up to our new place now in August of 2024. As soon as we moved, because they went to a new billing service, as soon as we moved, we got all of our bills all at once. It was a almost $4,000 bill all at once, told to pay it now. We're just gonna shut you off. Well, small business owners, it should be in the heartland of America, as we want small mom and pops. We had at that time 6, 7 employees, like we'd have to cut families off. That's not what we did. So we went and we called and called and called, try to get answers. I even have a guy that we several times, they wouldn't even call us back. They'd say, hey, your supervisor's gonna call. Supervisor's gonna call. They would never call. I don't know how many people's had that. And then you call and you'd have the supervisor's names, everything, so you'd have facts. We'd have it in emails. I said, no, email is for documentation. There was a lady that was even fired from Liberty because she actually called and said, hey, do this and this. She was gone 2 weeks later from trying to correct things and make things right. It wasn't until, I want to say March of this year, we had a meeting with them. February of this year, we finally had to sit down. We went to, Neosho has a Liberty office you can go there and talk to. He says, no, go to Joplin. We went to Joplin office. Well, that's a joke in there. There's 2 ladies that's trying to help people. It takes them at least 30 minutes to read down the whole thing of what's going on. They have no idea. Rude people in the back have no idea. Finally had a sit-down conversation where we finally sat down with one of their business accountant representatives, plus a couple supervisors. We finally got it mapped out. But something that billings that should have been handled from day one, it's costing us an extra $200 some a month on top of what we already pay now. But we have to pay it because it's either pay it or get shut off. We just added another pizza place in town. We said to transfer our name last month on June 16th. It took till today calling 4 more times to get them. Oh, well, we tried calling. There's no records of it. There's no voicemails. There's no nothing. And finally, we just got today, a month and a half later. Now I have a $1,000 bill that I got to try to pay on that business because they can't bill correctly. As a business owner, and especially a profitable, you try to be a profitable business owner as Liberty's trying to be. They're profitable. It's when you have breakdowns, you got to handle it yourself. If you mismanage your funds, if I go out and buy, let's say 30 fryers just because if my fryer goes down, I'm going to have one and I don't have the funds to pay my employees the next day, guess what? I shut down. Cost of food goes up. How many people's, cost of food has went up astronomically, right? We eat that. I can't charge $10 for a cheeseburger and fries today. Tomorrow, because it was slow, I'm going to pay you $13. That's a 30% increase. It's $13 today because, I didn't have enough people today. So think about the common sense part of a business. If they're going to be a profitable business, take care of your manager funds. Okay? Make it a competition piece. Make NewMac be able to take over. And because we're at a 13 cents for NewMac and we're at 23% for Liberty, what's the cost?
Mr. Humble, I hate to interrupt, but can you finish your thought?
That's it.
Okay. We do have questions.
Not very many, I hope. Do you have multiple accounts or do you have a single account?
So we have 2 accounts.
And are they consolidated on billing or are they separate?
They're separate. It's 2 separate LLCs.
Thank you.
Mr. Vandergriff.
And just for clarity's sake, you're talking about commercial bills?
Yes, business side.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Humble. I appreciate you being here. Judith Augustinoff?
Here.
Yes, ma'am. After this is Richard Geiser and then Amber Gonzalez. Ms. Augustinoff, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I prefer to affirm.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I prefer to affirm.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for the court
Judith
reporter.
Agostino, Judith Augustinov.
Thank you, and please go ahead and give your comments.
Yes. Our income for the family is $950 a month. My father's Social Security is $1,200, and our bill for this month is nearly $400 for the electricity. So a 40% increase is quite outrageous, and that's in addition to all the comments here for a lack of a company that is very, unreputable. I also, 2 months ago, when there was a meeting here, I requested to have all our bills consolidated into one, so we can have things clearer. And I also asked for our smart meters to be changed out, and they said that's possible, to have just plain digital meters, and nothing has been done till now. Nothing of that is done. I think that all the people of, all the citizens of Joplin and all of the surrounding areas should probably get together and talk to Carthage and see how their citizens manage to have a electric company that is citizen-owned and work towards having our own company to supply our own electricity. I think that's really important. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I don't see any questions. Thank you, ma'am. Richard Geiser. Mr. Geiser, thank you. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for the record.
Richard Geiser, Richard Geiser.
Thank you, sir. And if you could please go ahead and give us your comments.
Considering that Liberty is already charging us more than anybody else in the area, instead of their 40% increase, they should be reduced 10%. I'd like to know what I'm getting for that 40% improvement in my residential service. And if they don't get their 40% increase or some part of it, how much will they be degrading my service? By what percent? I haven't heard anything about any benefit to me at all. Second issue, I'm a California escapee recently. I'm quite familiar with the disaster that's going on over there with their electric rates and the way the state handles the whole thing. They've totally destroyed, the state of California has totally destroyed the residential solar market. 2 years ago, it was a totally different picture. My son got in early in Los Angeles. He got a 100% credit back for his surplus electricity. April of 2024, they changed it from 100% to 10%. You get 3 cents back. You get 3 cents back for your electricity that you give them. The state of California has turned totally solar residential, unfriendly, hostile. We might be going that way with Liberty here. As Liberty raises their rates, they're encouraging people to go more solar and other alternatives. When that happens, they lose customers. And they'll probably do the same thing California did. They'll punish the remaining customers, and they'll do everything they can to punish the people who are on solar and still grid tied. They're going to lose customers, and then they're going to blame solar for it. Before 2030 is over, I'm going off grid. I'm going to take all my neighbors with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Geiser. I appreciate you being here tonight. All right, it is 9:49 at night, and we are down to just under 20 witnesses left. Amber Gonzalez.
That's me.
Thank you. Following will be Christy Moore, Jean Griffith, and then Dave Griffith. Ms. Gonzalez, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
My name is Amber Gonzalez, AmberGonzalez.
And please go ahead with your comments.
Well, first let's quote Albert Einstein. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's exactly what Liberty is doing. They want another rate increase, and we see no benefits. The same thing is said over and over. It's for infrastructure. Great. Where are the benefits? What's being improved? We never see it. I noticed a lot of interest from the commission due to billing. So let's talk about billing. In January of 2024, I noticed that my bills were incorrect. I have 2 meters and 1 outside light. One of my meters was not being billed. I told Liberty this. We'll look into it. 6 months later, every month telling them that, I get a letter in the mail. Your bills are correct. Please stop bothering us. I'm keeping that letter. I don't owe you then. Well, guess what? Then I get another bill, over $200 for that meter, with another one that said, we apologize, we found the mistake. Okay? I turned it into the commission. Weird thing is, this is where you guys really need to look at Liberty's integrity. Whenever you all ask for my bills from Liberty, magically that meter was on all of those previous bills. They're not on mine. Don't know how that happened. Another bill that I turned into the commission. We're constantly talking about this February storm Asbury charge. I have it highlighted. I'm charged twice on each meter, plus my outside light. I turned it into the commission. Liberty refuted and said, it's only on there once. And the bill they provided you shows it only once, but the amounts are the same. Another issue that I've had with them multiple times is just, for example, the ice storm that we had many years back. My electricity bill went up to $600. That would make total sense if I was electric. I burn wood. Makes no sense. So I called them and they said, well, check your meter. Fantastic. They called me later and said, your meter's fine. I said, how do you check it? What makes you believe my meter is correct, that I used all these kilowatts? Well, we start from the beginning, and if it goes up, it's right. That makes 0 sense. Just because it went up does not mean it's correct. But there doesn't seem to be any way to check if it's not. At least they can't provide it. You ask multiple times, are we told that we can have a grievance and that there's any way for us to complain? I had no idea until my neighbor told me. Going back to Liberty constantly telling us if you're running short on your payment, just ask and we'll help. No, they refer you to economic security, which is federally funded, so they still get paid. Liberty does not help. They do not look out for the little person. Even going, I know a lot of people have touched on Social Security. Let's just say your bill is $400. 40% increase, that's $160 more. I don't know about anyone else. My job's not offering extra hours. My salary's not increasing. Even not being on Social Security, I'm in trouble, especially as a mother. Liberty needs to be held accountable, and I would say either deny this request or cut the rate so they're not a monopoly. This is an illegal monopoly according to the definition. They're not providing a better service than anyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. We do have questions. Mr. Vandergriff.
You said you launched a complaint.
Yes.
Is it a informal complaint or a formal complaint?
Can't tell you.
All right.
All I know is I called the Missouri Department Commission. I sent them all of my bills. They looked into it with Liberty. Liberty sent them whatever. And then I got a phone call from the commission saying that Liberty showed that they didn't, bill me incorrectly and there was nothing they could do.
Would you like to offer those copies that you have here today into evidence?
I can. A lot of this is the bills for the shop that I got, 6 times, 5 or 6 times. If they want to cut cost, paper and postage would be a great way to start.
And one more question. Those bills have your personal information on there. Would you like for them to be confidential?
Sure.
Those aren't your only copies, though, Ms. Gonzalez. Those are just copies. Yeah, I'm not super comfortable. If maybe Mr. Vandergriff, maybe you could follow up after this or a phone call to arrange copies.
Are you going to
Okay.
stay until then? I get it. Richard. Any contact information?
Actually, we might have a solution. Mr. Williams, I think, is going to take pictures.
I'll get your information.
I'm going to let you three take care of that on the side. I'm going to keep calling witnesses. Christy Moore. Christy Moore. Jean Griffith. Dave Griffith.
Thank you, Public Counsel.
Michael, I apologize.
Oh, well, no.
Keeley? Kiele? Michael? Steve Reeder. Mr. Reeder, come on down to the microphone. Jonathan Calicote? You'll be next, and then Sandra Oliver. Mr. Reeder, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
My name is Steve Reeder, R-E-E-D-E-R. My first name is Steve, S-T-E-V-E.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead with your comments.
Well, most of the comments that I had, others have expressed. I asked a question earlier if they could give me the percentages of increase over the 14-year period that the Nelsberg Research Institute gave for increase in median income for Jasper County. I did not get that answer. The increase for Jasper County was reported to be 7.89%. Where we're looking at this type of an increase, and people have already expressed it, it seems like it would be overwhelming what they have gained in income over the past 14 years. There have been increases in the median income, there have been decreases, but the net gain was 7.89%. So that's already been addressed. I did ask that question. There's been comments made about the executive pay, and I addressed that issue myself in the question and answer session. The issue of poor judgment on Liberty's part has already been addressed with the going green. I attended the meeting back here at MSSU when Liberty was in question, or Asbury was in question, and we were going to bring on the wind turbines. It just does not seem to work. That's all I can say about that. Others have already said more about that already. Liberty made comments that there are programs available to lower income people. That is good, but the common everyday customer who is on Social Security or on a fixed income, or as the one gentleman said, his income doesn't go up by the percentage that they're asking for and won't. That seems to be an issue. And then I'll just say that about CEOs, a headline from Energy and Policy Institute from July 2024 said, as customers struggled, utility CEOs' pay spiked last year. The first paragraph stated, while many Americans saw their energy bills go up substantially in the past year, investor-owned electric and gas utilities and the country's largest publicly owned utility paid their CEOs over $640 million in 2023. That was an increase of 9%. That's what they're trying to make, is 9%. And again, another person mentioned, if you can get a return on investment of 4 to 5% right now in today's economy, that's pretty good. So 10%, I think they're asking their customers to help pay for that increase or for that profit margin. Millions of disconnections were noted as on the rise due to the inability to pay by customers. Customers have already mentioned their fear of being disconnected because of this increase.
Mr. Reader, we've reached the end of your time. Can you wrap up your thought?
I understand. You initially said we'd get up to 4 minutes.
I think I said 3, and you're at
I believe
about
it's
4 now.
Okay. That is basically the gist of my comments. And like I said, most of them have already been expressed. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here, Mr. Reader. Mr. Calicote, you're up next. The names I have next on the list are Sandra Oliver, Christine Coate, Joey Burton. Mr. Calicote,
Yes.
let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
My name is Jonathan Calicote, Jonathon Callicoat.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead with your comments.
So initially, I came here to share some of my personal experiences with our business regarding some of the billing issues that we've all heard a lot about tonight. And I kind of thought it was an isolated occurrence with our particular account in a pretty short time frame, but that obviously turns out to not be the case. And my particular instance, there were 4 months of billing where the bill wasn't totally missing, but I knew that it was a lot less than it should be. We run a manufacturing facility which can consume 1,500 kilowatt hours a month to 15,000 kilowatt hours a month, depending on the time of year. So I'm pretty familiar with all the equipment and the electricity draw and where the bill should be, and I watch pretty carefully over the 4 meters that are located on the property. When the bill was a lot less than I was expecting, obviously I was pretty happy about that. But 3-4 months later, whenever the grand bill came in and it was $7,000 that needed to be paid immediately, that was not a great event for the business. It was difficult to kind of manage that. I went down here to the Joplin corporate office to speak with them directly. They knew of the problem, but they couldn't tell me anything about the problem. All they told me, is the bill needs to be paid as soon as possible. They did say that they weren't going to shut off the electric, which was great, but still being hit with a bill like that all of a sudden was difficult to manage. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Liberty has treated us well as far as boots on the ground goes. We've had lightning strikes. We've had various instances occur where we've had power outages that have needed to be dealt with in a timely fashion, and the people on the ground have always responded well. But the billing is obviously a concerning issue, and whenever I initially came here, like I said, I thought it was an isolated event, so I was a little surprised whenever I found out that Liberty was asking for a 40% increase in rates when they can't even get the billing right. So to come here and find out that this was a widespread event and they're still asking for a 40% increase, I went from like slightly surprised to just kind of shocked. And that's really my sentiment. One of the key points brought up tonight that I hadn't thought of was the elderly population. We are dealing with hotter temperatures, as everybody's experienced today and yesterday. And I think the elderly are far more likely to turn their thermostats down in the winters or turn them up in the summers to unbearable temperatures rather than go through a hard-to-manage online portal where they have to jump through a bunch of hoops to qualify for the programs that were mentioned a few times tonight by Liberty's personnel. So that's really the take home. I echo the sentiment of public counsel in that there's really no reason to raise the rates when you can't bill accurately for today's service. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Calicote. I appreciate that. We do have a question.
Just a couple, hopefully. You indicated you had billing issues. When did that occur?
That occurred last summer during the months of April, May, June, and July.
And when it's resolved now?
Yes, sir. It's resolved now. It was resolved last year.
When did you get the resolution?
We resolved it quickly, to try to get it off our desk, but it was difficult to manage. So the whole process, I guess, took about 5 months.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to get at when there was an issue about the billings not taking, well, first of all, let's just start with when you got the billing straightened out versus when you got payment worked out to your satisfaction.
I got the billing issue kind of straightened out after the grand bill, between the grand bill coming of like almost $7,000, I think, and getting it sorted out took about 30 days.
When was the big bill?
The big bill came, I believe, in July or August of last year.
Thank you.
And one more note, you know, like I mentioned, I watch all of the equipment very closely. So I heard somebody else mention tonight that they have a concern about the lack of accuracy with the electricity consumption. I share that concern because, again, like I know how much electricity these pieces of equipment pull, and the amount that we are billed during the same time of year, like each following year, is inconsistent, and I have no explanation for that. So
I will follow with one more. Have you had any subsequent billing issues that you're aware of, at least?
Not that I am aware of, no, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here tonight. Next, Sandra Oliver.
Christine Choate, I'm sorry.
Sandra Oliver. Christine Choate, please go on down.
Hello.
Let me get you sworn in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God. And
Thank
yes,
you.
I believe.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. And please go ahead and give your comments to the commission.
The first thing I'd like to say is something that's happening right this second. The Liberty attorney has been on her phone playing Candy Crush or whatever she's doing, showing nothing but disinterest and respect for the people of this community. On top of that, when you go to your boss and you ask for a raise, I've been taught, although I'm almost 70 and it's been 100 years ago, that you explain to your boss how invaluable you are to them and what you can do for them and how you deserve that raise. With all this money that has been spent on electric poles and better grids and all that stuff, up until 2 days ago, I'm still getting power outages. 2 days ago, a power outage. Why should I give you a raise for not providing the service you have promised? The last meeting we had in 30, 40 days ago, I told some things about this situation going on, and people were concerned. I got multiple business cards. I got them from Liberty. I got them from the society here, and I've written letters to the commission. The letter I wrote to the commission was the same thing the other lady did, and well, we contacted Liberty, and they said they're correct, so there's nothing we can do. Just because they say they're correct doesn't mean they are correct, and something should be done. I have lost over $5,000 worth of my refrigerators, my TV that's almost the size of the sign above your head. I'm losing them, and I'm having to repay for them. And nobody's helping me pay for that, but I'm still paying my electric bill, not only on time, but I make sure it's always paid early. I'm on Social Security. I finally retired. I was a nurse in this area for 40 years, serving this community. I got a raise. I was ecstatic. I got a raise. It was $0.25 an hour, and that was for a nurse. People are coming into our ERs because I've been both an ER and a surgical nurse, because they can't adjust their heat, because they can't afford it. And when we're taking care of 80 and 90-year-olds with heat exhaustion and they're dying from it, or because during the winter their heaters explode, because then they're coming in with burns and we're taking care of them. But they want a pay raise. And I'm still not getting electricity on a regular basis. If they want to keep money in their pocket, 1 month I got 7 bills. All 7 bills were for $0. Seriously? They could save money on the 5 pages every time they sent me that paper. That was ridiculous. And yes, it's a turnover of systems. Okay, 1 month is acceptable. 3 months of being told you don't owe anything and you're getting 5 bills in every month is ridiculous. It's not acceptable. I'm paying for that paperwork, not them.
Thank you, Ms. Goat. If you could finish your thought, and we do have questions.
Yeah, I'd be glad to finish. I got these and one that I left at home from all of you, including the letter from the state, that nothing has been addressed. Nothing. I don't trust you, I don't trust them, and I'm trying very hard of the good things I've heard about the two of you to trust you, but it's still very limited, because I think that 10% out of that 40% they want, that 10% they want to give their stockholders, you guys are stockholders, and you're not going to do shit about it.
I appreciate you, Ms. Coate. I appreciate you being here tonight, but we did have a question for you.
Thank you for coming back. You said that you had power outages.
Yes.
What were they about, do you know?
When you mean what were they about, how they were caused? No, because I'm not an electrician. I've been told over the phone that a squirrel is in a transformer. I've been told someone's hit a telephone pole. I've been told, really? Nobody else is complaining. I mean, sometimes my power outage may only be 5 minutes. Sometimes my power outage may be 3 or 4 hours. I don't know why. I'm just told they're working on it.
All right, and you said that you're still going through them now, or did I?
Today's what, Monday, so it was actually last week, about 3-4 days ago. I thought it was 2, but I'm probably not keeping track as well. I actually write it down on my calendar that I have at home, and I write down the time that it goes off, and I write down the time it comes back on the day it happens.
And you said that you did contact the commission for an informal complaint?
Yes, like I said, I've written a letter to the Jeff City Commission people. I think that's you guys, but that's what I think. And I was told that we contacted Liberty, and they say everything is good. So as far as we're concerned, everything is good. No investigation, just, well, I guess that is an investigation. Hey, we asked, they're okay with it, so we are too.
Thank you.
I have a couple.
Mr. Choate? Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
You said you were at some event before. Was that one of the town halls that the commission held for the investigation? Well, commission staff held for the investigation.
It was here, June 10th, I think, was the date.
And then my other question pertains to whenever you got the billing issues. What time frame was that?
I'm going to say the same time everybody else did. I just kept looking at him. I called and said, why do I have 5 bills? The first bill had an amount on it. The other 4 have a 0. Why are you telling me I owe 0 amount? And they were like, oh, it's just our computers. I do have 2 meters on my property, and that seems to confuse them. I don't know why having 2 meters confuses them. We get fuel surcharges on both bills, so to speak. It all comes in one package, but they separate everything. It's the same amount of time to get to my house when they have to come check something. It's the same amount of time that they get their fuel from wherever it is to make the energy goes. Why am I being charged twice for that? Well, because we can. That's one of their favorite set words, because we can.
Well, I'm still going to try to tie down the time frame a little. Was it last summer? Was it this spring?
No, this year, it had to be just after the first of the year this year that I got all those bills. And I got them for a couple months.
Thank you, Mr. Choate. We have Joey Burton. Laura Barbie. And then the next name I have is Dale Cardwell. Are you Laura?
Laura Barbie.
Barbie?
Barbie,
Thank you. I thought I might have stated that wrong. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
Thank you. And if you would please state and spell your name for the record.
Laura Barbie, Laura. Barbie is Barbee.
Thank you. Please go ahead with your.
I was not sure I was going to actually speak tonight, but hearing a lot of others having similar issues. My mother, last year, March through the end of August, to August 31st, she was not getting billed. She was calling. She's one of those people, she has to pay her bill like right on time, when it's due. She doesn't want anything late. That's just kind of how she's ingrained. And we called them multiple times, over and over and over again. Oh, well, we'll get a bill out. We'll do this, we'll do that, to no avail. She was told to speak to managers, to supervisors. She was said, call this number, go in office, see what you can do in office. Basically, she went in circles. She's old, she's elderly, and she's disabled, and it's just too much. I mean, why is she having to do the work of this company? You know, why should any of us have to do the billing work of this company? We're all having to. She also had incorrect bills. I know I've had one personally, and I'll have to show you the graph. It was 3 times higher just in 1 month, and I had lived at my house since 2016, new build home, and it was 3 times the rate, and they just says, oh, well, you just must have used more electricity, or what was the weather like that day? Was it warm or was it cold? Yada, yada. It's the same thing. It's always, oh, the weather must have been when it was cold out. It's cold every winter. It's hot every summer, and my bills, are pretty consistent, but I've had 2 that were just like outlandishly ridiculous. Like you could tell that there was a problem. Sorry, I digress. I'll go back to my mom. When she would call, we would ask, well, how are we going to know how much my bill is? Can I send a payment? She was so worried about trying to make a payment and not owe anything or have a occurring bill. She just didn't get any answers. She went in circles. It took 5.5 months. Then she got multiple bills. Like she was getting inundated with bills, different amounts here. She says, well, how did they come to this amount? Well, how do they come to that amount? Why do I have? It's just a mess. If we're a company who's wanting to increase our rates, you would think that y'all would get your ducks in a row with your billing. I mean, if you can't do your numbers, then why? I mean, we all don't even think you're 39% or whatever it's going to equate. If you can't even mitigate your billing as something simple as that, get a new accountant, get a new company, do something. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Why are we still having the same problems? Many people, a lot of people have left, but the problem has been going on since last year, I know for many. With just that. Oh, and then I also wanted to touch base on low income. You're all killing, these rates are killing low income people. I myself, I'm disabled. I don't want to really announce that to the world, but unfortunately that's my circumstance. I'm a single parent. So every time these rates go up, y'all really aren't thinking about us. Because that takes food out of our homes. It takes away from my child to be able to do an activity. It takes away from a lot. It's hard. I'm not trying to preach to the choir or play victim or woe is me. Life is life. You suck it up. We keep moving on, obviously. But the amount that you're asking for is outlandish. I strongly, strongly ask that you deny what they're asking for.
Ms.
And also
Barbie,
with the
I need you to
I'll wrap
finish
up.
up.
The other thing with the low income, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, I'm tired. With the low income help, like LIHEAP and things like that, that you tell us to, go get that. You know what, that goes away really quick. As soon as they might get green lighted, okay, we've got money. Those things are gone, like that. So then what do you expect people to do when there's no funds to help them. I personally do all of my laundry, anything that has to take electricity,
Ms.
I do it
Barbie,
in the overnight hours.
I'm really sorry, but we're getting rather late
I
and you're
know,
over
there
time.
was a lot of people not here, but a lot of us are adjusting the times that we do things into that overnight hours where it's peak hours. So, I mean, to try to offset our bills, I'm sorry, there's so much, but, sorry everyone, but get your bills in order, get all that
Ms.
in
Barbie,
order.
thank you so much. Were there any questions?
My only question is whether the billing issues are resolved or not.
Ms. Barbie? We had a question if your billing issues have been resolved.
Well, I'm asking whether or not your mother's billing issue and your billing issue have been
Well,
resolved.
Mine has not. My mother's has because she moved out. She was trying to get her bill taken care of because she was moving out. It was August 31st of last year. And so she needed to have that final bill to pay everything because, you know, she actually lived in an apartment. So she had to have her stuff done so the new tenant can come in her place. She was still dealing with it in September. So it is now done, but to the length that we had to go and what she had to do was just
I understand, thank you.
too much.
Thank you. The next name I have on my list, and I have a total of 7 witnesses left. Dale Cardwell. Dale Cardwell. Dakota Kuehl. Kuhel. It could be Kubel. Ellie Walsey. The next names are Lisa Baldwin and Rachel Braun. You are Ellie
Yes.
Walsey, thank you. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Ellie Woolsey, Elliewolsey.
Thank you, and please go ahead with your comments.
I'd like to start off by saying I've seen a lot of lying here today, a lot of lying from Liberty. They've hurt us as a people, all of us in Missouri. Every county that they operate in, they've raised the rates beyond what's comprehensible, and especially in comparison to other competitors in the state, which we don't have an opportunity to receive power from. It's a tragedy. I've grown up with nothing but economic downturn. Born in 2004, right into the housing market crash. 2016 happened, 2020 happened, and now every turn I make, every time I try to improve my life, I have another corporation breathing down my neck like Liberty, seeking to suck money from me for nothing but what? Investor gain? That's all we care about now? That's all we've ever been told. It's been hammered into our heads since birth. Work for the investor, work for the investor. And we're seeing it firsthand here today. A violation of not only monopoly laws, but of basic human decency. It's vile. We see them taking a problem that they can afford to solve on their own. They're a multi-hundred-million-dollar company. They can fix their stuff. They don't need our money to do that. We already gave them our money. But yet they seek here to raise our rates by 40% to pay for maybe 45 projects, which can easily be handled within their profit margins. Yet they refuse to adjust for that. And instead, they seek to suck more money out of us so that they can raise the money that their investors make. They say it out plainly. They want 10% more. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars, and they want more from us. They want to bleed us. I live with my grandma, and I'm the only reason she can make it by. She makes $2,000 a month. Her overall expenses, including our Liberty bill, $2,100 a month. I have to make up that difference. I work a minimum wage job. I suffer every day so that others around me can survive. I work with Hearts and Hammers building ramps for those who can't afford to do it for themselves. But what do you do at Liberty What do you do for our community? You suck us and you bleed us dry as if we're nothing to you. We're trash, and it's a tragedy. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Woolsey. I appreciate you being here and hearing your comments tonight. Lisa Baldwin? Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Okay, my name is Lisa Baldwin, Lisabaldwin.
Thank you. Please go ahead with your comment.
Okay, I'm a teacher from Neosho, and I get paid once a month. And I'm kind of confused as to why Liberty needs to raise 40%. My bills have jumped significantly since the billing system switchover of last summer. In August, I realized that I didn't get a bill. And as someone who gets paid once a month, that was kind of important to me. So I called them. They said, oh, we've had a few people fall through the cracks. We're working on it. We'll get the glitch worked out and we'll send you a bill. Don't worry, when you get your bill, we'll work with you. I said, you know what? I have solar panels. My bill is supposed to be $13 a month to pay for my meter. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and keep sending you money. And that way, when we get on the other side of this, I'll have a credit. So I kept paying, and I thought, well, I'm going to pay $30, $40. I just kind of look and see what I had extra. One month I paid $50, one month I paid $100. I just didn't want a big bill when we came out on the other side. So that was August 2024. January 2025, I get the shock of my life when bills start coming in. I start getting emails about my bills. And when it was all said and done, they said I owed them $1,400. That's like over half my paycheck. I mean, I was appalled. I just didn't know what to do. So I started calling. I spent hours on the phone reaching out to people. I have filed a complaint with the commission. I sent in my testimony, but I called different, I talked to people out of New York, people out of Iowa. I couldn't ever seem to get a hold of anybody locally. When you're teaching school, you don't have time during the day to spend hours on the phone. And by the time you get done tutoring and you get home, the offices are closed. So my bill is still not resolved, just to answer that question. And as a solar customer, like I said, my bill was supposed to be around $13 a month. Of course, we had months where we used extra energy, and maybe our bill might be $30 or $40, but nothing astronomical. Since January, my bills are regularly running over $100. I just checked the app. In July, my bill is sitting at $277 for this month, and I pay a $275 solar panel payment every month. So you figure out what my electricity is. It's ridiculous. I live in around 2,100 square foot home. It's not elaborate, I promise you. So anyway, my bill regularly runs over $100 a month. I get regular disconnection notices, which completely stresses me out. I'm someone who, I pride myself on paying my bills, having good credit, being a good standing citizen in our community. I cannot imagine a 40% increase. My increase for next year as a school teacher in Neosho was less than 2%. My husband's company said they couldn't afford raises, so he got 0%. A 30-40%, it's just ridiculous. My neighborhood has had 6 houses go up for sale in the last 90 days just on the street I drive down to get to my house. My realtor tells me that people are specifically asking whether a house is in the Liberty District or the Newmac District. And they are not buying houses in the Liberty District because they can't afford the utilities. How do you think that makes me feel? We actually have a realtor coming tomorrow. We are seriously considering selling our house. We bought it 3 years ago in September of 2022, and we can no longer afford the utilities. Like, it's just ridiculous. I heard earlier that there are systems in place for low-income families. Is Liberty prepared for the people who cannot no longer hang on to the middle-class status, and we fall into that poverty status?
Ms. Baldwin.
Yes. I do have major concerns for my low-income students, And the last thing I want to say is I'm expected to balance my budget and fiscally responsible for my financial decisions, whether they're good or bad. And I think the commission should expect Liberty to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baldwin. I appreciate you being here. I don't see any questions. Thank you. We're down to 3 witnesses, and it is currently 10:30. Rachel Braun. I appreciate everyone staying to the end of the hearing. Terry Myers. And Ray Cooper. Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Let me swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, so help me God.
Thank you, sir. Please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Ray Cooper, R-A-Y-C-O-O-P-E-R.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead with your comments.
I've only got one comment. Monopoly, monopoly, monopoly. If I could go to New Mac, I would. I only live a little over a mile from Carthage. If I could attach to them, I would. I could also go to Barton County. But they've got the monopoly, and you guys control it. So don't give them this. I'm retired. I'm lucky. I worked for Eagle Pictures for 30 years. So I've got a good retirement. I lost my wife 2 years ago, so I lost $900 there. But I can still afford what they're charging, other than I've got a well that is just the well on a meter, not the house. I normally have $13 to $15 a month. This month, I got the bill $53. Why? I could understand in the wintertime when the heater's on to keep the well from freezing, that it's up $30 to $40. But $53 in this type of weather, they are ripping everybody off. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. I appreciate you being here and hearing from you tonight. That is the end of our list of witnesses. As I said, I will call for anyone who has still wanting to testify. I have 2 hands raised. I have 3 hands raised. I saw you first. If you 2 would come down, you'll be number 3. I'm going to swear you in first, and then I will ask your name and spelling, just like the rest. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter, please.
Joshua Allen, Joshuaallen.
Thank you, Mr. Allen, and go ahead with your comments.
I didn't know what I was going to say tonight. Didn't know if I was going to even come up here tonight. Glad I did. I learned a lot. I've known a lot about Liberty Empire for years. I've always keep that in my head of what's going on in the world. You have to. We're all citizens. We're all up here saying not to raise rates. I haven't heard anybody come up here say raise our rates. We've had our rates raised over and over and over again. I have a store in Joplin. I don't turn my air conditioner on in it because it's too expensive to run it. Other business owners on Main Street, in fact, other businesses in Joplin, they don't turn their air conditioners on. They don't turn their heaters on. I don't turn my heater on in the wintertime. We can't afford it. Many of our businesses can't afford it. Homes can't afford it. Why are you doing that? None of these other towns are doing that have other utility companies. Can we just be reasonable to the citizens? That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. I appreciate you being here and waiting until the end. Careful, you all right?
Oh, yeah.
I'll swear you in.
I'm just
these.
old. When you get to my age, everything trips and falls. My name is Dan Harrison. It's Dan, Harrison.
Mr. Harrison, let me swear you in real quick. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Please go ahead with your comment.
I'll be real short. I took a little time, just this morning I had a little time, so I run onto the computer and started looking up some things that I wanted to understand about the company who owns Empire or Liberty. Algonquin is, I guess, how you pronounce it, or Algonquin?
I think it's Algonquin.
Algonquin, okay. One of the things that kind of concerned me after I was looking at it is, and especially right now, I wasn't going to speak, but I've listened to all the people, and they all are asking you not to approve this. In their latest investor update, dated June the 3rd, 2025, I'm sorry, I'm 10 years behind or so. But on June the 3rd, 2025, they called an extra investor update for their year. And in that update, they're explaining to their investors the executing of operational and regulatory fundamental expected to drive earned income returns equity uplift. And what they've done is made a chart stating how they're going to, over the next 2 years, 26, 27, 25, 26, and 27, starting at the mid-year of 25, they're going to gain 8.5% for their investor investment. The number one person for that, number one, is Empire. They already assume they've got the raise that they're asking for. Because in here it says the uprate case for Missouri Empire Electric will be the number one issue in 2026. So my question to us is, why would the people who's asking for the increase already be publishing something that they think they're going to get or have been given and not back off or have you already presenting it to us that it's already in place? Because they go for that to the next one in 27, which also says Empire, plus California Pepco will be the next one. So it's already in their update that they're planning on this increase as presented. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. I appreciate you being here and hearing your comments. Sir, go ahead. Let me go ahead and swear you in real fast. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And if you could please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
My name is Frank Tilley, Franktilley.
Thank you, Mr. Tilley. Please go ahead with your comments.
I'm a business owner for almost 40 years, and most of the concerns of the business owners are my concerns, so I'm not going to really go into that end of it. I don't understand how a company as large as they are cannot run an accounting firm that can handle their billings. I've had the same occasion as the other people where they give you the baloney about, well, we're changing our accounting system. You get 3 or 4 bills, and 4 months later, if you spend 2 weeks on the phone with them, you might get your answer. And finally, some of us get answers, which I'm not a quitter. That's why I sat in the chair. Okay, I'm going to get an answer. I'd like to get answers from you, but I guess we can't ask you questions. We can just give you our occasions. I've had occasions where we're paying for services that we used to get and now we don't get. Now that we have a new company that owns, Liberty owns, I don't get tree trimming any longer. I get service outages because there's no trimming done. I get trespassing when I'm told that I work for FEMA, or worked for FEMA. Looks like we're gonna get cut out next, you know. I don't know whether that'll happen or not. When I would go away, I would put my neighbor in charge of the property to let people on or not come on the property. Well, we had an occasion where a power pole got knocked down. Well, the people came in to work on the power pole. They didn't get permission. They just knocked the gate down, which all I had to do was reach around the back of the pole. It was on a nail. I mean, it wasn't like it was locked, because you're not supposed to lock your property without giving someone a key for access. Well, they made big ruts in the property. And of course, they don't do their own landscaping. They subcontract it out. The guy come in, he half did the yard, still left the ruts. I ended up fixing the ruts because I don't have the time to spend 6 or 8 calls, 10 calls like everybody else. You can't spend, when you're a business person, you're trying to make money. You don't make money on the phone talking to something that, you know, is a problem that they should be addressing. Now, like I said, the other things that we've talked about investments and losses, again, engineering and whatever, that's their responsibility. That's not us to pay for their faulty visions. I don't understand that either. So really, that's all that I have to say, sir.
I do have a question for you, Mr. Tilley. We do have a question. Sorry. If you can go ahead and go to the microphone, we'll make sure and get that on the transcript.
Is this for a business or residential address, the tree trimming?
That was for, now it's residential, okay? Yes. It used to be a business, but when I went to work for FEMA, it became residential. That's another issue, which I keep getting billed as a commercial, and I'm not, I'm a resident.
How long?
Pardon?
How long have you been incorrectly billed as commercial, even though it's residential?
Probably 5 years. And I guess that's a different rate, and that's why I've called them and told them, but, you know, it keeps coming out as a business.
And you said that the services you're not getting services for tree trimming anymore?
No.
Have you had
there's
any
trees
issues?
all over the line. When the wind blows hard, I mean, it's...
How often do you think, how often does that happen?
About every other month, I'd say. I mean, and sometimes, you know, it'll be not for a couple months, and then you'll get 2 or 3 occasions where it happens frequently.
And how long are your outages when they happen?
That varies too. You know, it'll be a day sometimes, but most of the time they get out there and get it serviced. I'm not going to say that, you know, that's a fault. That's a major concern. The tree trimming is, because it's going to become more of a concern as the trees get worse and worse.
Thank you. No further questions for me.
Thank you, Mr. Tilley. I appreciate you being here tonight. I will ask the audience one last time for any other persons who would like to testify. Oh, okay, we got...
Can I add a warning shot if we've already testified or not?
Yeah, you've already testified. Let's give everybody a chance, because we're coming up on, we're getting close to 11 o'clock at night. Sir, come on down.
Try to keep this short and sweet.
Thank you. Let me swear you in first. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
Randall Barker, RandallBarker.
Thank you, sir. Please go ahead and give your comments to the commission.
I already have comments with the PSC, so you probably all have read them. That's officially been documented. I don't have a formal complaint. I've been working with Mr. Jeff Mark, and I've worked with the Attorney General and had correspondence with Liberty back and forth. And it all started back when I bought a home a year and a half ago, approximately, and didn't know it was Liberty, got Liberty. It's been a nightmare ever since. Never had such a high bill. I don't think my bill's correct. And after living there long enough, they first came out because I had a power outage, I believe it was, and I addressed trees and a power outage. So they came out, you got flickering lights. EOC came out, Liberty came out, they checked everything out. They said the tree's fine for now. If there's a problem, call later. I said, these trees are gonna need to be trimmed. So that was it on that. After living there a while, I realized that I was having what they say flashing lights, flickering lights, power outages. I started experiencing them consistently. And I take care of an elderly woman right down the hill from me, and she has the very same issue. So this was about me to start with, and it turned into me being an advocate for the area. And the elderly, the old lady, she's 89 years old. She's got limited income, like all the stuff we've talked about. It's an issue. And so times went on. I have consistent power outages 4 to 6 times a month for the first year of living there for a year and a half. They've changed transmission lines, and they got a little better. And now they've changed them back to Joplin again, and it's back to, I've had 4 outages this month, 3 outages last month, and I believe it was 3 or 2 before that, on the next month before that. So still having consistent power outages. And it's gotten worse since they hooked back up to Joplin. So in regard to that, I went around in the beginning. I'm a volunteer firefighter. I serve the people. I see the elderly. I see them suffering, like all the other statements, so I won't go on about that. But you're going to kill and harm these people, and you already are, at your rate now, let alone increasing it. So I'm totally against, what my statement is, I'm totally against any rate increase. And I've been strongly about the Asbury plant that Liberty does not deserve, and I don't know how, in your good heart of the PSC or anybody involved with it, governors and the legislative body can, in their hearts, do this to customers, especially elderly and disabled, poor, less fortunate people, let alone anybody well off. So I went around passing out Attorney General forms. I believe that's what she was referring to earlier, the form that has correspondence with Ms. Diane Carter. So that's my main statement. I'm still having power outages. I don't believe my bill's right. I believe the meters are bad. And I have an elderly lady that's an advocate that spoke with me, says that she's had a lineman, which I won't say a name because they love to fire people, that the meters are junk. And so that's another issue. And I think it's part of the building problem besides their firmware, hardware, software, and their coding and such. And that's pretty much it, because I've made my other statements to PSC and with the Attorney General, and I've called the governor, and I've spoken with Mr. Jeff Mark. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If you'd stick around, we have a couple questions. Mr. Williams was first.
Okay. I'm curious about the time frame. You indicated you recently had outages.
Yes, sir.
When did they start? When did you start experiencing outages? Time frame.
Recently or since I lived there?
Well, when did you move there? I mean, how long?
September, October of 23.
Okay. And then you said you don't believe your bill's right. Has it always been that case, or is it recent, or was
I
there a
believe
period?
my first bill was an estimate because I wasn't even living there and just moving in and not using electricity. I mean, much electricity.
So.
And it's a fairly efficient home, so it's, there wasn't a lot going on in there. And it was a time of year where it wasn't hot.
So like
or
September
cold.
2023 is, you think the billing's wrong?
October, yeah, somewhere right in there, we closed. Yeah.
Thank you.
You said you spoke to PSC.
Yes.
Was that today or was it through?
No, I've spoke with PSC because it's on the bill from Liberty. And I've made statements for my lady that I take care of next door. She spoke, or gave me permission for her to speak for her. PSC has failed me. I've put that in my statement. That the frontline PSC, I've called 20 to 40 times that first year, probably. And I did a document request. And I came back with 2. And there was nothing to speak of there at all. It was, I can talk forever. So, and then Miss Nancy did a deeper dive, and she found 3 quick hits, if I believe that's right. So 5 total out of 20 to 40 calls was documented, because I told them I don't write and read and spell well. So if they could take my statement and put it down and put it in the record, my comments, that I would appreciate it. And I thought that was done. It never happened. The only documentation I have is with the Attorney General, besides the last stuff that I sent to the PSC that's underneath this case file.
So when you say you spoke to the PSC, that was an informal complaint, or?
It was public comments that, like the tree guy had been out, the power went out for one. I probably have left this part out. I had these short power outages, I call them, because they wanted to always twist the words. It's 1 to 7 seconds. I did a claim once with Alexis Rogers. She said it was only 7 seconds. Well, that 7 seconds is the worst thing on electronics, sensitive electronics. And many people have testified or made statements that they have this very same issue, losing TVs, appliances, sensitive electronics. Well, I have lost my meat and my freezer and it's usually right after the power flash or a power outage. That's only a few seconds, not a minute even. It's seconds. And then it pops back on, and then it jacks with your stuff, and you gotta go reset it all. I've had other things that's happened. I've got them to come back, all except for my microwave now. But I have lost a freezer full of meat and a freezer because of this.
So just to be clear, you haven't requested an informal or formal complaint yet?
I have a informal complaint form at the house, but I was told just to go ahead and send the multiple ones. I've sent three or four public comments, and it's got the case number on it. They said that would work. So I haven't done the actual court document that I have in the vanilla envelope.
Yeah, so public comment is a little bit different than an informal complaint.
I understand.
And a formal complaint is where you can bring your case before the commission and request information that way.
I don't feel confident and don't trust in what's going on with all of this, as others have expressed. And so I don't know that it's worth my time, and my time is very valuable. And to do it, other than doing what I've been doing. I've been to these town halls, and I went to the Aurora one, and then I've made my comments to you in written form. So, and here's my here's my testimony now. So, ballpark of it.
Thank you. No further questions for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here and waiting through tonight. Last call for witnesses. Okay. I'm sorry, sir. I'd have to open it up to let everybody have a second chance. What you can do is submit a written comment. It's online. you go to the PSC website and you can click on a link that says submit your comment. Just put down this case number, and that's ER 2024 0261.
121 million is what you're already recommending. It's probably why they got a fair.
Sir, I'll go ahead and thank you. Just submit your comment in writing, and we can add that to the public comments that the commission has received. Right now, we're going to go ahead and close out. Oh, we do have another comment?
I just have one quick statement.
Okay, please. Let me swear you in first. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. If you could please state and spell your name for our court reporter.
Jennifer Loom, Jinnifer, last name Loom, Loum, as in mom.
Thank you, Ms. Loom, and please go ahead with your comment.
I just would like you to take into consideration the impact that this will have on young families. We had a young lady here earlier this evening that had concern about foster families and how that could possibly increase the number of children that would go into the foster care system. It will possibly have an impact on learning and success of our students in our communities. And that is all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I don't see any questions. I appreciate you sticking around to give your comments. Okay, last call for witnesses. Okay, hearing none, we will go ahead and conclude our hearing. Commissioner Mitchell, would you like to make any closing remarks?
Sure. Thank you, Judge Hatcher. And on behalf of the entire commission, we'd like to thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for the robust turnout. You've provided us with some very valuable information and insights into your opinions and thoughts about this matter, and they will be taken under consideration and be taken to heart. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you all. I'd like to echo the commissioner's comments. And again, if anyone would like to make further comments, or if you know someone who could not be here tonight who would like to make comments, we are still accepting those comments on the PSC website. That's psc.mo.gov. The link is labeled Submit Comments in the upper right of the page. And please just include this case number. It's ER 2024-0261. If you need to contact the Office of the Public Counsel, their email is mopco@opc.mo.gov. That's mopco@opc.mo.gov. Thank you all for attending tonight. This hearing is adjourned, and we are off the record.